Chapter 787. It all depended on which side the audience chose. Brother Tang, do you think we can beat Yao Yao this time? Qingju asked. I'm not sure. Tang Bao told the truth, but it made the air a little heavy. Mi Kuer said, if we can't beat woman's makeup this time, then we're finished. As she said that, she glanced at Dogu. Dogu said, it seems that the two magazines are going all out this time. They've decided to put their sales online and are ready to gamble. Tang Bao didn't know about this. It's very interesting. This is even more pressure. But don't worry, just believe in your own ability. Brother Tang, are you confident? Mi Kuer asked. No, Tang Bao said. Mi Kuer was speechless. Meng Shi stood up. Aya, why are you thinking so much? Come. This is a rare opportunity. Dogu, help me take some photos with Brother Tang. Dogu looked at Tang Bao and seemed to be thinking for a while. Then she said, why don't we take a photo of the three of you? 2 men and 1 woman are more controversial topic. Tang Bao was stunned. No way? She would take the photo? Although she wasn't willing, it didn't sound so ridiculous. Doji's ideas were always useful. For the sake of the magazine's sales, she was going all out. So she agreed to take the photo. Tang Bao changed his clothes. He stood under the camera with Meng Shi and Qingju. Tang Bao hugged Qingju. Meng Shi looked furious and sad. In the end, she returned to Meng Shi's arms. It was like a love story with a story. Tang Bao and Meng Shi had different styles. Tang Bao was elegant and handsome in a white suit, while Meng Shi was dressed in black with a hint of unruly temperament. Her personality was very distinct. After the photo shoot was finalized. Qingju went directly to the set to shoot. Tang Bao and Meng Shi returned to the company. As soon as they got out of the elevator, they met Lai Yuanqing. Meng Shi immediately exploded. Why are you here? What are you asking? Why can't I be here? Is this your home? Lai Yuanqing asked sarcastically. Tang Bao grabbed Meng Shi and said to Lai Yuanqing, what Meng Shi means is that since you're here, we can't possibly not let you have a drink. Why don't we go to the office and have a seat? No need. I've already been inside. As Lai Yuanqing spoke, he saw that Tang Bao's expression did not look too good. He quickly said, I'm sorry, but that office might be mine in the future. What is the meaning of this? Meng Shi was furious. Nothing much. Just take it as a joke. Meng Shi, you know that the company is prepared to vigorously promote you. Your current resources are simply a waste of your talent. Alright, I won't talk about it anymore. I'm leaving. Lai Yuanqing grinned as he entered the elevator. After entering the office, Meng Shi asked, Tang Go, what did Lai Yuanqing mean just now? Don't worry about that. Let's focus on the matter at hand. Aren't you worried about the implications of his words? What's the use of worrying? What will come will come. Aren't you angry? How much benefits have you brought to the company after you joined? Now they want to kick you out? We're not sure about anything now. Don't talk nonsense. Lai Yuanqing must have a purpose for deliberately letting us know. What do you think? Tang Bao asked unhurriedly. Meng Shi thought about it and agreed. Lai Yuanqing was too cunning. He was the same as Liang Jichao. As expected of a family. Looking at Tang Bao's unworried expression, it was really charming. He could not help but lean over flatteringly. This is just right. You can come home with me and be my good wife. After Meng Shi left the office, Tang Bao looked at the time and felt that it was about time to go home. He took his briefcase and left the office. In the car, Tang Bao thought for a moment and said to the driver, Xiao Qin, stop by the pharmacy later. Okay. The driver stopped outside the pharmacy and asked, Do you want me to buy it for you? No need, Tang Bao said as he got out of the car and went into the pharmacy. After buying the medicine, she bought a bottle of water and was about to drink it. However, before she could stuff the medicine into her mouth, her wrist was suddenly grabbed by a force. Tang Bao was shocked. She was shrouded in a thick shadow, and her heartbeat was already abnormal. When she looked up again and met that pair of black eyes that were as sharp as arrows, Tang Bao was extremely flustered. However, she still managed to cover up her panic. Why are you here? Didn't you go back to D City? What are you eating? I have diarrhea, so I bought some medicine. Okay, birth control pills. Tang Bao told the truth under Di Haotian's terrifying gaze. In fact, in front of Di Haotian, who was as smart as a ghost, lying would make her look like a fool. After saying that, Tang Bao felt that Di Haotian's aura was as cold as an ice cellar. It was so oppressive that she could not breathe. The strength of his grip on her wrist seemed to be about to crush her bones. Di Haotian. Tang Bao was about to say something when she was dragged out. She was directly thrown into Di Haotian's black car. After Tang Bao got into the car, she realized that the medicine in her palm had fallen. She was so anxious that she wanted to get out of the car to look for it, but the car door could not be opened. Di Haotian, open the door. The medicine fell. Tang Bao frowned. Did I allow you to take it? Di Haotian's face was cold and angry. Are you going to make me pregnant? Tang Bao asked. She looked at Di Haotian's cold and intimidating appearance. I don't want to get pregnant. If you still want a child, you can find someone else. Di Haotian suddenly pulled her over. Tang Bao threw herself at him and her face almost collided with his. Di Haotian's face was so close to hers that she could feel how angry Di Haotian was. His voice was low and hoarse. Do you really want me to find someone else? Don't you care at all if I find someone else? Tang Bao lowered her gaze. No. Look at me and say it. Di Haotian rudely turned her face over. Look at me and say it. Tang Bao looked into Di Haotian's dark eyes. She saw herself in his eyes, she saw herself surrounded by pain. That pain was Di Haotian's. He was suppressing, angry, and manic. The hand that was holding her face was trembling. However, Tang Bao could not bear a child with him. She said, I don't mind if you find someone else. Her voice was very soft, but it was as loud as thunder in the enclosed car. It was so loud that it hit Di Haotian's strong and fragile heart. Di Haotian's dark eyes looked at her fiercely, as if there were terrifying blood vessels in his eyes. Even his breathing was trembling. I'll fulfill your wish. He reached out and flung the car door open. He also let go of Tang Bao. Tang Bao looked at the open car door and did not say anything. She turned around and walked towards the car door. When Tang Bao turned around, Di Haotian wanted to hold her back. His hands moved and finally clenched into fists to control himself, but his heart was also aching. She really got out of the car. She really did not care if he found someone else. Why did she not care at all? Chapter 788. Unexpectedly, she saw Di Haotian close the car door with a cold expression. Tang Bao was speechless. Actually, there was no need to do this, right? She really could not see through Di Haotian. Why did he want her to have children? Wasn't having 2 children enough? Did he appear just to give birth to children for her? Tang Bao definitely could not do that. At that time, she was willing to get pregnant. But now, it was different from before. How could Di Haotian ask her to do this? Did he ever think about her? But what was Di Haotian up to? Didn't he say he was going back to D City? Why was he here? If he had gone back, would this have happened? Tang Bao got into the car and asked the chauffeur to drive back. When she reached home, she clearly felt that after the 2 babies called her, their eyes kept looking behind her. Forget about Xiao Bao. He might be thinking about the cake that Di Haotian made. Why was Bao doing this? Also for the cake? She did not believe it. Tang Bao sat down in the living room and the 2 babies surrounded him. Tang Bao hugged them both. Is there anything you want to eat today? Daddy will take you out to eat? Daddy went to buy groceries. Xiao Bao looked up at her and said. Bao said. He said he was going to pick you up after buying groceries. Didn't he pick you up? He went, but something came up, so I came back first. Tang Bao could not tell the children that they had quarreled. It was very likely that Di Haotian would take a plane back to D City in a fit of anger and never come back. I'll go and see what dishes I want to cook for you. Tang Bao stood up. Daddy, is your cooking as good as Daddy's? Do you want to wait for Daddy to come back? Tang Bao turned around and tickled Xiao Bao. What do you mean Daddy's cooking is good? Watch me punish you. Ah, Daddy, spare me. Ha 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 ha. Daddy, spare me. Xiao Bao laughed loudly with her round belly. After the fight, Tang Bao went into the kitchen. She saw the dishes in the kitchen and the fridge. How was this bought by Di Haotian? It was obviously sent by someone. Such dishes could not be bought in the market or supermarket. They were all specially supplied. Ever since Di Haotian moved here, the dishes had always been like this. She tried to do it. After he was done, Tang Bao checked the time. Di Haotian was still not back yet. Did he really return to the Imperial City? Daddy, isn't Daddy coming back for dinner? Xiao Bao asked while they were eating. Bao also looked at her. He's definitely not done with his business. He also had his own matters to attend to. Let's eat, Tang Bao said. After dinner, Tang Bao took the two babies to the lawn downstairs to play. Looking at the two babies playing, he thought that Di Haotian had only been with them for a while, but he was already thinking about them. Bao and Xiao Bao were not the kind of children who would get close to others just because they were nice to them. Xiao Bao was delicious, but she did not dare to accept it if a stranger gave it to her. It was different for Di Haotian. Could it be that this was the relationship of blood? When the sky turned dark, Tang Bao took the two babies home. After playing for a while and watching TV, he let them go to bed. Tang Bao leaned against Xiao Bao's bed and told her the story of Sleeping Beauty. After the two babies fell asleep, he kissed their little faces and left the room. As soon as the door closed, Xiao Bao got up and asked, "Brother, are you asleep?" "No." Bao opened his eyes. "Ha, did we fool Daddy?" "He thought we were asleep," Xiao Bao said with a sense of accomplishment. Then she asked, "Brother, can I sleep with you?" Bao thought for a while and got out of bed. He slept with Xiao Bao on the bed below. The two little heads huddled together. Xiao Bao asked, "Brother, is Daddy not coming?" "Will he?" Bao asked. "Then why won't he come back? Did he quarrel with Daddy? I saw the little black dog and the little yellow dog fight last time, but it was fine after a day. Daddy said he has something to do. He has a job." Bao thought for a while and said, "Okay." After Tang Bao coaxed the children to sleep, he took a shower and went back to his room. He looked at the time. It was already 9 o'clock. Di Haotian had asked her to go to bed before 9 o'clock. Now that he was not back yet, could she not rush to sleep? Tang Bao went to the study in his pajamas. But he was not in the mood to work. She couldn't get into it. It was a very irritating feeling. She stood up again and walked to the window-sill, looking at the dark night outside. Her cell phone was still on the desk behind her, but it was as quiet as the night. This kind of night had happened every day for the past 3 years. Could it be that she was not used to it now? Or was she used to some kind of strong hug? No. She was not clinging to it. She was doing it for the children. Although the children did not say it, she could tell from their eyes that they liked Di Haotian. So, for the children's sake, she should give Di Haotian a call and ask? Tang Bao walked to the table, picked up the cell phone, and called Di Haotian while suppressing the uneasiness in her heart. She was very nervous when she heard the sound of the connection. The nervousness was so serious that her palms were sweating. What was wrong with her? Wasn't it just a phone call? It was not like she had never called him before. But she knew in her heart that it took her a lot of courage to make this call. She was actually afraid. She was afraid that Di Haotian would not pick up the call. He wouldn't pick up, right? It had rung so many times. What Tang Bao was waiting for now was for the phone to be disconnected. Di Haotian was really angry. Could he have really gone back to D City, or listened to her and found another woman? Tang Bao even imagined the scene where Di Haotian was making out with another woman. Her heart felt like it was being squeezed tightly by a hand. Every breath she took was so difficult, as if something was stuck in her chest. Just as Tang Bao was about to hang up, the call went through. She was stunned for a moment. Di Haotian. No one spoke, but Tang Bao felt that he was listening. Where are you? Have you gone back to D City? Do you care? Tang Bao lowered her gaze and looked slightly uncomfortable. Have you gone back to D City? She did not answer Di Haotian's question. The main thing was that she did not know what to say. However, Di Haotian did not answer her either. Tang Bao was very helpless. Di Haotian, can you not be like this? If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Wait a minute. Tang Bao gritted her teeth. This person was really. What I mean is, if you're in Boiling City, do you want to come back for dinner? I've cooked dinner. Do you want to try it? What time is it now? Tang Bao did not need to look to know. What he meant was that if she was really sincere, she would not have waited until now to call him to ask if he wanted to go back for dinner, right? Tang Bao felt that this question was not smart enough. Chapter 789. So, you called me because of the children? Tang Bao wanted to say yes, but she knew that she couldn't say that. If she said that, she was sure that Di Haotian would hang up the phone the next second. Actually, I wanted to call and ask you myself. Tang Bao looked up at the ceiling helplessly. There was silence on the other end of the phone. She asked, Di Haotian, where are you now? If you're back in D City, then forget it. On the lawn. Ah? What lawn? Tang Bao didn't react for a moment. Downstairs. Tang Bao was stunned. Downstairs on the lawn? The lawn where she played with the two babies after dinner? Tang Bao threw the phone away, changed her clothes, and ran out. She put on her shoes as she ran. When she reached the edge of the lawn, Tang Bao saw the dark figure sitting on the bench. The silhouette was still so deep and clear in the night. The tall figure had his back facing her. She didn't need to look at his face to know who it was. The closer Tang Bao got, the more she felt that person's loneliness. It was as if he would continue to sit there if no one approached him. Di Haotian. Tang Bao felt that her voice was a little hoarse. Di Haotian didn't respond after she called him. She couldn't help but walk to the front. Di Haotian still didn't move. He sat there like a statue and looked straight ahead. He didn't look at her. His chiseled face was tense, and there was no trace of emotion on his face. When did you get here? Don't sit here. Come back with me? Tang Bao asked. Di Haotian's dark eyes moved slightly. He looked up at her with a deep and quiet gaze. Didn't you want me to find another woman? Tang Bao pursed her lips. Why was this person so vengeful? However, she also wanted to make things clear. Di Haotian, you know my current situation. How can I have children again? On the one hand, my current job doesn't allow me to have children. On the other hand, I have a lot of problems with you. I really shouldn't think about having children. Do you think I'm angry because of that? Tang Bao was stunned. Isn't it? Di Haotian's face was gloomy, and he didn't say anything. Tang Bao thought, if it's not this, what is it? What else did she say? That's right, she told him to find another woman. I'm sorry, I won't ask you to find another woman in the future, okay? I was scared by you. I thought I was going to have a baby again. You know that if you want to give birth, I definitely can't resist you. Can you understand my fear? Tang Bao asked. However, after he finished speaking, Di Haotian's face did not turn for the better. Instead, it became even more terrifying and gloomy. What was going on? Could there be a bigger problem than this? Tang Bao admitted that his brain was still somewhat useful, but why did it feel like it was useless in front of Di Haotian? It seemed that no matter what he said, he could not get to the point of Di Haotian. Could it be that Di Haotian was too unfathomable? Just as she was racking her brains to figure out what the problem was, she felt a grip on her wrist. She was pulled over by Di Haotian. She was caught off guard and ended up in Di Haotian's arms, sitting on his sturdy thighs. Her jaw was pinched and she was forced to face Di Haotian. Di Haotian's dark eyes were so deep. Under the moonlight, they were as quiet as a black pool and as cold as frost. You really don't know what I'm angry about? Tang Bao did not want to admit that he didn't know. It would only anger Di Haotian, but he really didn't know. I will never find another woman. You don't have the final say. But you shouldn't have taken medicine. Isn't that because you want to have a baby? Tang Bao felt that there was nothing wrong with what she said. Don't you know that medicine is very harmful to the body? Di Haotian's voice was so cold that it pierced her heart. Tang Bao's body stiffened. He was so angry with her because he was worried that the medicine would harm the body? This was too serious, wasn't it? Every medicine has a side effect. It's okay. Before Tang Bao could finish her sentence, she shut up under Di Haotian's gloomy gaze. She felt that it was not safe for her to sit on Di Haotian's thighs. It was as if she could be torn apart by Di Haotian at any time. She should be careful no matter what she said. How many times have you taken it? Just this once. Tang Bao immediately said, as if she was very anxious. When she met Di Haotian's cold gaze, she looked away. I've said it. Don't be angry. If you are angry, I won't say it. Don't you know that you are very scary now? It's even scarier than the side effects of the medicine I took. Do you want me to stand a little further away and tell you? I'm afraid that I'll implicate the innocent, Tang Bao said in a negotiating tone. You're innocent? Yes. Tang Bao's tone changed as she screamed, Be gentler, I'm going to break it. Di Haotian bit her shoulder directly. It was so painful that her body stiffened. I should eat you one bite at a time. Then I won't have to worry about you all the time. Di Haotian's voice was low and hoarse, and it was clearly transmitted into Tang Bao's ears. Tang Bao's breathing was slightly chaotic. Di Haotian's thinking was really a beast. He was worried, so he wanted to swallow her into his stomach? Ordinary people would definitely not think like that. It was too scary. Di Haotian, you can't blame me for this. You always bring me here. What if you get pregnant? I don't dare to take the risk. Although Tang Bao was dizzy and disoriented every time, it did not mean that she did not feel anything at all. Especially the last time, Di Haotian's terrifying strength did not waste a single drop. In addition, every time he did it, it lasted for an entire night. It was not a what if, but as long as there was nothing wrong with her body, she would definitely get pregnant. What would happen after she got pregnant? Return to the castle with Di Haotian? Continue to stay in the castle to nurture the fetus? Fight with Yu Songhuan and Lan Wanru again? That was really not what she wanted. Di Haotian looked at her deeply. I really want to make you pregnant. Only when you get pregnant again will you really come back to my side. Do you know that I even thought that it would feel good to tie you to my side every day? Don't even think about it. Tang Bao glared at him. That's why I chose to make you pregnant. If I knew that you were secretly taking medicine behind my back, I would rather not bully you. Tang Bao seemed to see hope. So you won't touch me in the future? Di Haotian looked at the two black and bright eyes that were filled with joy. His face could not help but darken. He immediately carried her and stood up. Tang Bao was so frightened that she held onto his broad shoulders. Are we going home? She thought that they were going home, but who knew that Di Haotian would take her to the car? Di Haotian, where are we going? Aren't we going home? No. The children are still sleeping at home. He-Ju is here. Chapter 790. If his Ju was there, wouldn't she be able to tell how angry Di Haotian was? If his Ju wasn't there, she would be in big trouble. Tang Bao looked up and met Di Haotian's sharp black eyes. She quickly looked away. Are you regretting it? What regret? Absolutely not, Tang Bao denied. Could it be that Di Haotian had seen through her thoughts? She felt that the X-ray must have been invented according to Di Haotian's body structure. The car drove on. Tang Bao didn't know where Di Haotian was going to go. She thought about what she had said just now. Before Di Haotian picked her up, she seemed to have said, "So you won't touch me in the future?" Was Di Haotian taking her to a hotel to prove that he wouldn't bully her? No way. Tang Bao didn't know why the two of them would go to a hotel when they were developing their relationship. Why did the development between her and Di Haotian always end up like this? Most importantly, she didn't dare to reject him now. What if Di Haotian got angry and left? Would he still pick her up when she called him? She was really a coward. Tang Bao leaned her head against the car window helplessly. Di Haotian's black eyes quietly fell on her face, but he didn't say anything. The car drove for about 10 minutes and stopped. Tang Bao got out of the car and looked up. "Why are we at a supermarket? It's not a hotel. Are you disappointed?" Di Haotian's voice came from the top of her head. Tang Bao was a little dizzy. Of course not, of course not. Why did I think it was a hotel? Haha. After saying that, she went into the supermarket first. She was still full of questions as she went in. Why were they at a supermarket? Di Haotian wouldn't allow those snacks from the supermarket at home. After entering, Tang Bao was still wandering around when she saw Di Haotian standing in front of a shelf of luxury goods. She walked over curiously. What does Di Haotian want to buy? She walked to Di Haotian's side and looked into the display window. When she realized what Di Haotian wanted to buy, she was shocked. She hurriedly pulled Di Haotian. "Let's go." However, Di Haotian was like a mountain. No matter how hard he tried, he would not budge. Tang Bao used all his strength to push Di Haotian from the left and pull Di Haotian from the right. He was practically jumping up and down. Not only did he not make Di Haotian move a single step, but she was also so tired that she was panting. "What can I do for you?" the salesperson asked in a sweet voice. Tang Bao's face stiffened. He leaned against Di Haotian and looked away, pretending that he did not know anything. Then he heard Di Haotian ask, "Do you have the largest size?" Tang Bao held his breath and turned to look at Di Haotian, who was expressionless. He looked at the salesperson again. She was stunned and blushed. She said shyly, "No one here has bought this size before. Moreover, it's the best quality ultra-thin. Now that someone has finally bought it, I thought it wouldn't be sold." As he spoke, he looked at Di Haotian so shyly that he could not speak. Tang Bao thought to himself, "Do you think I'm dead?" Oh right, she was a man now. She was no different from a dead person. However, her face was very, very red. "How many do you need?" "I want all of them." Tang Bao's eyes widened. Then, he heard the salesperson's sweet and excited voice continue, "There are 100 boxes in a box. There are 7 boxes in a box. Are you sure you want so many?" "Bill, please." Di Haotian glanced at him coldly. The salesperson quickly put away her flirtatious look and turned to get the goods. Tang Bao quickly lowered his voice and shouted, "What are you doing? Why are you buying so many? Are you eating them?" Di Haotian looked down at her. His dark eyes filled with the joy of a demon. "Wrong. I'm not eating, you're eating. Do you know how to eat? You can be more boring. But you're buying too many." She meant to tell him that even if he used it regularly, it was still too much. How much is it to use one box only once? Tang Bao did not know what to say anymore. Other people used it once, but Di Haotian used it from night to dawn. If that was the case, 1 box per use might not be enough. Di Haotian was always able to make her speechless with fear. Now, her brain was a little dizzy. If only she had the ability to predict the future, she would not have to come here. If she was dressed as a woman now, she would definitely find a hole to hide in. The salesperson came over with the box. Di Haotian threw some money at her, took the box, and turned to leave. After Tang Bao got into the car, she was still wondering if she should be glad that the supermarket did not sell well and only bought 1 box. If the supermarket bought 10 boxes, would Di Haotian buy all of them? Sigh. She did not have any doubts. She should not have any doubts. She thought that if she did not want to get pregnant, she would not be bullied. Who knew that Di Haotian was so evil that he actually had such a plan? Di Haotian directly hugged her and let her sit on his lap. Tang Bao's whole body was tense. She felt that Di Haotian now was like carrying a deadly weapon with him. It was the kind that could definitely kill people. Relax. Di Haotian patted her shoulder. Relax? Usually, I don't know when you're pregnant. But now that you're buying those things, you're telling me that I have to accept it so many times. Do you think I can relax? Di Haotian, you're sent by God to torture me. Don't you want to try it? I don't want to try it. Thank you. Di Haotian chuckled, pinched her chin, and kissed her fiercely. He kissed Tang Bao until she was dizzy, her face was red, and she was panting. The man's voice was low. As long as you don't take drugs, I can use this. Tang Bao did not say anything. She lowered her eyelashes and did not look up. She was afraid that Di Haotian would see her true emotions. It was not that she did not know that men were not very willing to use such drugs. But now Di Haotian was willing. Especially when he said such words. It would be a lie to say that she was not touched and did not throb. She still lost in front of Di Haotian, right? Other than letting him do whatever he wanted, she had no strength to resist. In the morning, the two babies got out of bed and walked out of the room in their little pajamas. When they saw the person walking out of the kitchen, their clear eyes lit up at the same time. Daddy! Xiaobao ran over. Bao also walked over. Uncle! Di Haotian went forward and picked up each of them and hung them on his arm effortlessly. Tang Bao saw this scene when she walked out of the room. She could not help but sigh in her heart. She had raised them for nothing. They had become so close to Di Haotian so quickly. Therefore, it seemed unrealistic for her to cut ties with Di Haotian. Di Haotian had planted two allies for her. Chapter 791. Uncle, Bao said calmly in Di Haotian's arms. Call me Daddy. I'll only call you that if you marry my daddy, Bao said matter-of-factly. Don't treat me like a 2-year-old. Di Haotian was speechless. Tang Bao, who was walking towards the living room, stumbled and kicked the leg of the coffee table. Ah! Tang Bao sucked in a breath of cold air from the pain and fell onto the sofa. Di Haotian quickly put the two babies down. He went over and grabbed Tang Bao's foot, took off her shoes, and examined her foot. Her fair and adorable toes were red. Di Haotian looked up at Tang Bao with an oppressive gaze. He held her small, soft, and fair foot in his large hand while his other hand gently rubbed it. Don't, the children are watching. Tang Bao blushed and wanted to retract her foot. After being touched by Di Haotian, she couldn't feel the pain anymore. She only felt embarrassed. Why should I care so much? You're going to give me a heart attack. Di Haotian refused to let go and continued to hold her foot. Tang Bao didn't think so. It was just a toe injury. Was it as exaggerated as he made it out to be? The two babies also hurried over. Daddy, does it hurt? Xiaobao asked worriedly. Bao said matter-of-factly, Daddy, he wants to marry you, so he should massage your feet. Then he turned to Di Haotian and said, I'm a man of my word. As long as you marry my daddy, give him all your money, and hire servants to serve him, I'll call you Daddy. Tang Bao was speechless. You've said that before and I've agreed to it, Di Haotian said calmly. Tang Bao was speechless. When did he say that? Why didn't he know about it? All right then, I'll call you Daddy in the future. Bao made a deal with him. Wait a minute, are you going to ask me? With my permission? Tang Bao looked at the three of them, feeling like he finally had a chance to get a word in. Were they treating her as if she didn't exist? Then he asked Bao, Did you really say that? Yes. Bao nodded. After you marry Daddy, he will take care of you. You won't have to work so hard. She accepted her son's filial piety, but you can't do this. Di Haotian must have misled him. Tang Bao was so angry that she pulled her leg back and glared at Di Haotian with her beautiful eyes. Di Haotian raised his eyebrows. I didn't teach him that. He asked me first. If you don't believe me, ask Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao nodded vigorously and said obediently, brother said so. Tang Bao knew that her 2 children would not lie. Especially Xiao Bao. She was so naive that she didn't even know how to lie. She was relieved, but she also had a headache. She was being sold off by her 2 children just like that? These 2 were still too young to make decisions for her. You're thinking too much. I'm not going to marry him, Tang Bao said. You're already living together. Other people live together after and before they get married, Bao said. Tang Bao was depressed. Bao, where's the hostility you had towards Di Haotian in the beginning? Take it out. How could you be led by the nose so easily? You're not smart enough. However, Bao did not receive her thoughts. His 2 pairs of clear eyes blinked at her. Marriage is marriage. Living together doesn't necessarily mean marriage, Tang Bao said again. He said that you're the most important person in his heart. Bao did not give up. Tang Bao knew who he was and her face heated up. She glared at Di Haotian. How dare you say this to the children? You're the one who misled them to this point. All right, let's not talk about this. Aren't you hungry? Let's have breakfast. Tang Bao took the 2 babies' little hands and went to the dining room. She did not want to bother with Di Haotian. After breakfast, she went back to her room to change her clothes. Fortunately, Tang Bao changed quickly. Otherwise, Di Haotian who came in would admire her again. He might even get physical with her. Di Haotian walked over and hugged her waist. Are you angry? You misled them when I wasn't at home, didn't you? Is this misdirection? This is because these 2 fellows have good perception. You call that smart? You're the one who played tricks, Tang Bao said indignantly and buttoned his shirt all the way to the top. He really looked like an abstinent little prince. Di Haotian's heart itched and he wanted to pull the buttons all the way down. Who are you meeting today? I'm meeting the chairman of the fashion industry. Is it a man or a woman? Tang Bao turned and met Di Haotian's deep eyes. Why don't you take a guess? A man. Di Haotian guessed with certainty. Tang Bao was stunned. That's a very accurate guess. How do you know it's a man and not a woman? Then she asked defensively, Don't tell me you've investigated it? Do I need to investigate it? I can tell just by looking at this. Di Haotian tapped his head with his finger. Then tell me, how did you determine it? I'm curious. Tang Bao was ready to listen. How many female designers have you met in the fashion industry? Di Haotian asked. This is a matter of probability. Tang Bao was speechless. It was true. The designers she knew who had some reputation in the fashion industry were all male. Why did he want to meet you? Di Haotian asked when Tang Bao was lost in thought. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian's sharp eyes and knew what he was thinking. I should ask you this. The clothes you custom-made for me happened to be custom-made by his master. How could he not want to build a good relationship with me? Di Haotian's face darkened and he was speechless. Tang Bao smiled proudly. There are times when you are speechless? When she turned and was ready to leave, she was suddenly pulled over by Di Haotian and pressed against the wardrobe. What are you doing? Don't wrinkle my clothes. Tang Bao was troubled by Di Haotian's strength. I'll be careful. But Before Tang Bao could finish her words, Di Haotian could not wait to kiss her. He immediately entered the state of gentle kissing. The phone on the bedside table thought for a while. It was a text message. It was like saving Tang Bao. Phone. Tang Bao resisted and turned her face away. Di Haotian's kiss landed on her face. Both of them were breathing heavily. It was like this every time they kissed. It made both of them uncomfortable. Let's try that tonight. You're not allowed to refuse. Tang Bao wanted to refuse, but Di Haotian blocked her words. It made her blush and her heart beat like a drum. Tang Bao pushed him away and turned to walk towards the phone. She picked up the phone and looked at the text message. When she saw the content, she wanted to laugh. Di Haotian's tall figure stood behind her, casting a shadow on her. Tang Bao put away the phone and turned to look at him. This is my privacy. You're not allowed to see it. You're not allowed to have any privacy with me. Di Haotian kissed her red and swollen lips lovingly. Tang Bao trembled all over. Chapter 792. Some people said that it would be like this after giving birth. Some people said that the older a woman was, the more vicious she would be. What kind of joke was this? Was she not doing well now? She must have underestimated Di Haotian's method. Every day, Di Haotian would send her to work, and He Ju would take care of the child for her. Tang Bao saw He Ju about to enter the door and said, I remember now. Malay is going on a blind date this afternoon. He Ju, do you know? He Ju was stunned. Tang Bao smiled and pretended not to know anything as he turned around and left. After entering the elevator, Di Haotian's dark eyes looked at Tang Bao's lively expression. The more he looked, the cuter he became. His hands were itchy and he reached out to hug his waist. Hey! There are surveillance cameras in the elevator. I didn't do anything. Tang Bao frowned. You didn't do anything, but can you not hug me like this? It's not like I can't stand. If He Ju wants to go back to D City, will you agree? Why wouldn't I agree? I can't be flirting with my wife every day. Otherwise, he will become more and more inhumane. Didn't he do anything interesting in the past? No. Tang Bao thought to himself, that's good. At least Wan Mi Lai will be relieved to find He Ju. After returning to the company, Tang Bao thought for a while and called Di Haotian. Miss me? Yes, I miss you very much, okay? Do you want me to come over now? Please don't. Tang Bao stopped him. Why did he become so bright just because I gave him some color? Has He Ju returned to D City? Tang Bao asked. Yes. I didn't expect him to be so anxious. I'm anxious too. Why are you so anxious? Tang Bao was puzzled. When are you coming back? Tang Bao was really defeated. Was this how people who had nothing better to do would be? If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. I have something to do. What do you want? I miss you. The words seemed to have passed through the phone. Hot air gushed over and blushed Tang Bao's face. Without saying anything, he quickly hung up the phone. If she didn't wear it, she felt that Di Haotian would see the blush on her face. But didn't hanging up the phone in a hurry also represent a kind of panic? In any case, in front of Di Haotian, she could not remain calm no matter what she did. Can't you show your drive at work? Tang Bao felt that it was very difficult. It was the most difficult thing in the world. Wan Malay still did not know that Tang Bao had betrayed her and was waiting at home for the blind date. She had no choice. When the time came, he could just say that he didn't fancy her. That would allow his ears to be close to her for a period of time. In her heart, she thought that it was fortunate that He Ju was not in D City. Otherwise, she would not have the courage to do so. When Mother Wan came back from grocery shopping, she saw Wan Malay still sitting there with her legs crossed and watching TV. She couldn't help but urge her, "Why are you still sitting here? It's still early for lunch." "I know it's still early for lunch. But don't dress up before you go?" "Dress up? I've already dressed up. You're wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Your hair is messy and you don't even have lipstick on your face. How are you dressed up?" "I look better in everything than you do," Mother Wan said worriedly. Wan Malay looked at her mother. Indeed, she was wearing a dress and looked better than her. "Malay, you didn't dress like this on purpose, right?" Mother Wan was suspicious. "How is that possible? I'm just thinking that if he likes me, he shouldn't care about my appearance. He should be looking at my inner beauty. Nowadays, people don't even care about appearances. How would they have the time to understand your inner beauty?" "Hurry up and change it," Mother Wan ordered. "You really want to change it? Hurry up." Wan Malay had no choice but to drag her unusually heavy body into the room. Mother Wan shook her head helplessly. She didn't know who was the one getting married who didn't care at all. She changed into a dress and put on some light makeup. She asked, "Is this better?" Mother Wan nodded. "He'll definitely like you." "Why are you so sure?" "You're not bad looking. You're the one who doesn't want to look good and scares the man away." "Mom, if this is the case, what if he doesn't like me?" "I'm just saying what if," Wan Malay asked. Mother Wan looked at her and frowned. She thought for a while and said, "Then you didn't do a good job. It's your problem." She was blamed for this? That couldn't be right? Wan Malay sat on the sofa and watched TV. She was about to eat the fruits on the fruit plate when Mother Wan stopped her. "Can you stop eating?" Wan Marai's outstretched hand froze in place. "If you continue eating, you'll ruin your makeup. Malay, I'm telling you, if the blind date fails, I'll teach you a lesson." Wan Malay silently retracted her hand. She felt that she wouldn't have an easy time today. Why did she have to go on this blind date, even if she didn't have to go to work? She felt that going to work was much more fun and interesting than this. Going on a blind date with a stranger was so awkward that the cancer of awkwardness would act up. When it was about time, Wan Malay was chased away by Mother Wan again. Wan Malay dawdled to the dining area. The environment was chosen by the other party. It was rather quiet and there were many couples. It was just that she didn't have much of an appetite when she wasn't eating with the person she liked. So what if she dressed up? Initially, she wanted to order an appetizer to scare the man away. But she didn't expect Mother Wan to ask her to succeed or die trying. This was terrible. What if he really took a fancy to her? She thought of Heju's cold face and felt a little scared. She regretted agreeing to this blind date now. If she hadn't agreed, there wouldn't be so many problems now. She watched the time pass slowly. Wan Malay was really impatient. "He actually wants me to wait for him?" She was so bored that she sent a message to Tang Bao. "What kind of man is he? He actually wants me to wait for him. I haven't even seen him, but this is the impression I have." "Tang Bao, indeed. You're late for such an important day. If you get married in the future, you'll be in trouble." "But didn't you say that you'll go without dressing up?" Could it be that the person hiding in the distance saw his unkempt appearance and ran away? "Wan Malay, I dressed up." "Tang Bao, Wan Malay, my mother forced me." "Tang Bao, your mother forced you." "Wan Malay, yes, my mother forced me." "Tang Bao, why do I feel that our conversation is very strange?" "Wan Malay, I think so too." "Tang Bao, but I have a bad feeling." Before Wan Malay could ask about the bad feeling, a man hurried over. He sat down and said, "Sorry, I'm late. There was a traffic jam." Wan Malay put her phone aside. "It's okay." The man looked quite elegant. He was wearing glasses, but the lenses were quite thick. Her mother said that he was a top student. When he got married, the child would be very smart like her father. TSK, how could he despise his own daughter so much? Chapter 793. Let me introduce myself. My name is Bao Lei. I'm currently working at T, the man said. What did you say? What did you say? Where did you say you're working? Wan Malay was so shocked that her eyeballs were about to fall out. At T. Your expression will make me feel superior. Bao Lei laughed. I'm just a lowly employee. It's nothing. Wan Malay was stunned. A lowly employee at T had a much brighter future than a senior employee at a normal company. Her mother didn't even tell her that she was working at T? If she knew, she wouldn't have come. She wouldn't have come. Wan Malay had no other expression other than a silly smile. Then shall we order? You order. I'll eat anything. Wan Malay was not in the mood to order at all. You're not a picky eater and you're still so skinny, Bao Lei said with a smile. Wan Malay thought, are you complimenting me? Are you saying that you like me? Please don't. Do you know where I work? Wan Malay asked tentatively. I don't know. You're not going to ask? I don't have any requirements in this regard. As long as it's a girl I like, she can do whatever she wants. Damn. Wan Malay was stunned. If Heju didn't appear, This man's words would actually be very pleasing to girls. At least he had a good character. Someone who worked at tea couldn't be that bad, right? If she told Tang Bao that her blind date was an employee at tea, he would be so shocked that his jaw would drop. After ordering, there was an awkward moment. This is my first blind date. But I did my homework before coming. I said that girls ask a lot of questions. Aren't you going to ask? Wan Malay was completely speechless. Why would a blind date ask that? What do you like? Reading, listening to music, sports, traveling. I like all of them. Coincidentally, Wan Malay liked those things too. However, she couldn't say that. I seem to like eating. I'm not interested in anything else. It's fine. It's just some entertainment anyway. Girls who like to eat are all cute. Bao Lei said. You think I'm cute? Wan Malay asked in disbelief. Bao Lei nodded. Wan Malay felt that things were getting serious. Is there something wrong with your eyes? How am I cute? Everyone says I'm a tough girl. Wan Malay stopped talking. Soon, the dishes were served. Both of them began to eat. The atmosphere became awkward again. Because Wan Malay didn't say anything. After they finished eating, Wan Malay saw Bao Lei fiddling with his phone. He thought to himself, did he reveal his true colors so quickly? She hated men who stared at their phones the most. She wanted to find an excuse to leave. Well, we're done eating. I have to go back to the company. Why don't I leave first? Wan Malay said and stood up. However, his arm was grabbed by Bao Lei. Wait a minute, I'm looking into how to start a conversation if I meet a girl I like. F***ck. Wan Malay was flirted with. Was her blind date today to torture her, or to torture her, or to torture her? Just as she was in a daze, her arm was grabbed by someone beside her. A cold voice said, You don't have to look into it. She has a boyfriend. This voice. Wan Malay turned around and saw He Ju. She couldn't help but widen her eyes in shock. Why was He Ju here? And why was he at her blind date? Before Bao Lei could react, Wan Malay had already been dragged away by He Ju. After getting into the car, Wan Malay, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, lowered her head so low that it was almost buried in her skirt. The atmosphere in the car made her unable to lift her head. The car was parked by the roadside and he didn't start. He Ju didn't speak either. Was he trying to make her explode on the spot? First of all, let me explain. I was forced by my mother to go on a blind date today. I didn't take it seriously. I just wanted to brush it off and then leave. Wan Malay's head was still lowered. Raise your head, He Ju said. Wan Malay raised her head. She was still looking straight ahead and didn't look at He Ju. I'm telling the truth. Because my mother saw that I was always alone, she wanted me to get a boyfriend first. You dressed up today. Wan Malay was so regretful that she wanted to bang her head against the wall. My mother forced me. It's true. I was wearing jeans at that time. Then my mother went crazy. I had no choice but to wear them. But I thought that even if I dressed up, no one would like me. But I didn't expect that. He was quite good at flirting with girls. Wan Malay met He Ju's cold eyes and quickly changed her words. I think he definitely didn't like me. I can tell from the way he spoke that he was experienced. You like him? Absolutely not. I swear. Wan Malay raised her hand and then asked, 3 fingers or 4 fingers? He Ju took a deep breath and pressed himself against the front passenger seat, kissing Wan Malay forcefully. Wan Malay leaned against the front passenger seat and let He Ju kiss her as if he was punishing her. But she didn't dare to move and let He Ju kiss her. God knew that something like this would happen today. Just as Wan Malay was complaining, her body suddenly trembled. Her narrowed eyes widened and her breathing quickened. She was wearing a dress and He Ju. Why did Wan Malay turned her head unnaturally and made a sound in her throat. She was so scared that she quickly suppressed it. He Ju moved away slightly and looked at Wan Malay's red face as she panted. He asked, You're not wearing underwear? It's cool. Sigh, don't ask any more. Hee-ju retracted his hand, sat up straight, started the car and drove away. Wan Malay sat obediently in the front passenger seat. She stared ahead and occasionally glanced at Hee-ju, who was focused on driving. How could he treat her like this? She was shocked. Not shocked, but surprised. She couldn't tell that Hee-ju was so passionate on the outside. Even now, her private part was burning. She didn't dare to ask where Hee-ju was going. As long as he didn't bring her to some deserted place and bury her alive. She could tell that Hee-ju was very angry now, but he was suppressing it. Wan Malay reached for her phone and sent a message to Tangbao. What's up, Fatty C? Did you tell Hee-ju? Tangbao, yes. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Wan Malay, how could you tell him? Tangbao, I did it on purpose. What? What the F***, how shameless! After the car stopped, Wan Malay looked out of the car window. It wasn't a deserted place. But why did it look so familiar? After getting out of the car, Wan Malay knew why it looked so familiar. This was her home. How could it not look familiar? Hee-ju was sending her home. Have you eaten? Do you want me to accompany you? Wan Malay wanted to spend more time with Hee-ju. Chapter 794. What time do you have lunch at home? Hee-ju asked. Around 11:30. Hee-ju looked at the time on his wrist. It's still early. I'll eat at your place. Okay, a what? Wan Malay was shocked. No. Wan Malay was still in a daze. Hee-ju turned around and walked towards the corridor. Wan Malay took a while to regain his composure and ran after Hee-ju. Are you sure you want to eat? Do you know what this means? Yes. Why? You're mine. Or you don't want to? No. Didn't she feel like she was being forced to answer? Should she say that she didn't want to? But after saying that she did, she felt even more anxious. I'll call my parents first. She was afraid that they would be frightened. No need. Hee-ju kept her phone. It's just that I came in a hurry and didn't bring any gifts. It's a little troublesome. It's no trouble. My parents aren't that old-fashioned. Let's go then. Wan Malay. What was she talking about? Why was she giving Hee-ju a chance? Why didn't she say that it would be troublesome? You should come another time. Shouldn't it be like this? Wan Malay took out his keys to open the door. He tried a few times, but the lock didn't fit. Then, the door opened from the inside. Wan Malay stood there in a daze with the keys in his hand. How did you come back so quickly? After Mother Wan asked, she noticed the tall man standing behind Wan Malay. She couldn't help but feel puzzled. This is, in Mother Wan's impression, Wan Malay's blind dates were not so tall or so good-looking. Hello, Auntie. I'm Malay's boyfriend, Hee-ju. Hee-ju introduced himself. Wan Malay. Mother Wan was still in a daze. Mom, can we go in first? Mother Wan came back to her senses. Please come in. After entering, Hee-ju greeted Father Wan, Uncle. Have you eaten? Father Wan asked politely. He had heard Hee-ju's self-introduction at the door just now. Not yet, Hee-ju said. That's great. Let's eat here. Mom, go and buy some vegetables. Father Wan urged Mother Wan. Wan Malay quickly said, no need. Mom bought enough groceries this morning. He's not picky. I'm not picky, Hee-ju said. That's too simple. The myriad mother said. I came too hastily. Hee-ju said with some embarrassment. So be it, said Wan Malay. Mr. Wan and Mrs. Wan went to the kitchen to serve the dishes. Wan Malay looked at Hee-ju. Her heart was in a mess. This was too exciting. She felt that the two elders had been greatly provoked. When she entered the kitchen, she heard people talking inside. Is this the girl that Malay went on a blind date with? Papa Wan asked. Nope. The one he went on a blind date with isn't as pretty as this one, Mother Wan said. I feel that Malay doesn't deserve her. Wan Malay was speechless. Yeah, how did he fall for our daughter? Could it be? What is it? Mother Wan was curious. Wan Malay also pricked up her ears to listen. Could it be that Malay hired her to fool us? Wan Malay was surprised. Do you have to be so advanced? You even hired her? Wan Malay wanted to turn around, but she saw He-ju standing behind her. She was so frightened that she quickly pulled He-ju away from the kitchen door. He-ju's gaze was quite profound. Wan Malay pretended not to notice anything. You can just sit on the sofa and watch TV. What are you doing here? It's almost time to eat. Why watch TV? The four of them ate at the table. Papa Wan and Mama Wan politely let He-ju eat. Wan Malay actually saw a hint of a smile at the corner of He-ju's mouth. So he knew how to smile? Seriously, she had known him for so long, but he had never smiled at her. She was unhappy. After dinner, Wan Malay was pulled away from the living room by Mother Wan. She asked, "Is this really your boyfriend? You didn't buy it, did you? You're thinking too much. Does he look like someone bought with money? If he was bought with money, he should at least be someone who can talk." "That's true. But that's not right. Why do you have a boyfriend?" "Why can't I have a boyfriend? I've been in a relationship for 3 or 4 years. What? Then why didn't you tell us? Isn't it because the time isn't right?" "So the time is right today." "It's right. I'm too embarrassed to ask in person. Is his family here too?" "I don't care about the rest. Your dad and I don't care about his financial status as long as he doesn't despise you. Your expectations are really low. He's an orphan." He doesn't have parents? Where's his family?" "I don't know. He was already an orphan when I met him." "What a poor child," Mother Wan said sympathetically. "You're really too much. If I knew you had a boyfriend, why would I let you go on a blind date? You're so insensible." With that, Mother Wan went to the living room. Wan Malay was stunned. What did it have to do with her? What did this have to do with being sensible? Wan Malay walked into the living room and heard her mother ask, "Have you thought about when you're getting married?" Wan Malay wanted to rush over immediately. Mom, what are you asking? We're not in a hurry to get married." "I'm in a hurry." Wan Malay turned to look at He-ju. "Did you say that just now? Why are you in a hurry?" "I've already prepared the bridal chamber." "What?" He-ju took out the keys and placed them on the coffee table. "Auntie and Uncle can go take a look. When you get married in the future, we'll be close to you and can take care of you." Mother Wan and Father Wan were so happy that they couldn't close their mouth. But Wan Malay didn't have any other expression other than being stunned. "Oh right, your uncle and I have something to do in the afternoon, so we won't be staying at home." "You can do whatever you want," Mother Wan said. "Yes, we'll be back at night," Father Wan added. Then, the two of them went out together. Wan Malay was still in a mess. "What's wrong?" He-ju asked. "What's wrong? How long have you been planning this? When did you decide to buy the bridal chamber? Why didn't you tell me?" Wan Malay didn't expect He-ju to have such a trick up his sleeve. Before going upstairs, he said that it would be troublesome if he didn't bring a gift. Now it was more troublesome. "What did you say?" Have you ever been in a relationship with a girl?" "No." "She asked for nothing." "Then you should at least propose to the girl. Only when the girl agrees can you buy the bridal chamber. If I don't agree, won't you buy it for nothing? Do you agree?" "Yes," Wan Malay said shyly. "Let's have dinner together tonight." Wan Malay nodded. He-ju chose a high-end and classy place. Wan Malay also dressed up meticulously. Chapter 795. Isn't this restaurant's business too bad? Wan Malay thought about it, but she didn't say it out loud. How awkward would it be if she said it out loud? The beautiful atmosphere was gone. When the two of them were eating, an exquisite fruit platter was served. Wan Malay picked up a fruit and took a bite. In front of Tang Bao, she would definitely stuff it into her mouth. But in front of He-ju, especially on such an occasion, she had to be more ladylike. So, she took a small bite. After biting, she saw a shiny object on the other half of the fruit in her hand. What was it? The fruit was embedded with a brick? It was a big one. She remembered a news article that she had seen before. It said that a woman ate a priceless pearl while eating seafood. Juan Millet pinched the diamond and pulled it. There was a ring underneath. Is this a diamond ring? Juan Millet couldn't help but look at Hiju. Hiju took the ring from Juan Millet's hand and put it on her middle finger. The size was just right. The sound of a piano could be heard in the distance. Someone was playing the piano, as if adding a strong and wasteful mood to the atmosphere. Do you like this proposal? Juan Millet looked at Hiju and her eyes turned red. Hiju was stunned. What's wrong? I'm just too surprised. Juan Millet really didn't expect this. She thought it was just a meal. Looking at the shiny ring on her finger, the joy and throbbing in her heart couldn't be described with words. I'll try to come back to D-City more often. To Juan Millet, these were the most touching words of love. It's okay. I'm not the kind of person who sticks to her boyfriend for no reason. You can be. Juan Millet's face was red, and she looked even better under the candlelight. Come here. Hiju stretched out his hand. Juan Millet didn't know what to do. She stood up slightly and moved her face closer. Hiju leaned forward and kissed Juan Millet on the lip. Juan Millet felt so happy at this moment. She would never tell Hiju that she used to worry about not being able to get married. Although they weren't married yet, she believed that Hiju was her future husband. The next day at the company, Tang Bao received a photo from Juan Millet. It was a selfie of Juan Millet. Why did he take a selfie for no reason? Upon closer inspection, he noticed the diamond ring on her middle finger. Tang Bao immediately thought that Hiju must have given it to him. Tang Bao, you really know how to show off. Juan Millet, what? I'm showing off. Tang Bao, so you're here to thank me for my betrayal? Juan Millet, you're welcome. You didn't scare me to death. Tang Bao, heartless. Juan Millet, baby, I feel so happy. I really want to give birth to Hiju's babies right now. Tang Bao laughed out loud. Juan Millet, but I think Hiju is also a conservative man. I think he won't be able to do it until the wedding night. Tang Bao, if you can't get him, do it yourself. If you can't, drug him. If you break up, send him nude photos. Done. Juan Millet, I'm a lady. Tang Bao, pfft. In the afternoon, it was time for the pre-sales of women's makeup. At the beginning, Tang Bao didn't check it out. She didn't need to keep an eye on it. She only checked it at around 4 o'clock. When she saw the amount of pre-sales, she felt that it was quite good. At least it was better than the last episode. It was close to 100,000 yuan in just a few hours. Dogu must be feeling very stressed at this moment. Tang Bao was still fine. She was calmer. The phone on the table rang. She looked at the caller ID and answered. Did you see it? The pre-sales of women's makeup are doing quite well. I heard that it's much better than the last episode. I know. If it's won by those people, I'll be disgusted, Meng Shi said. Although they don't have good characters, they still have some ability. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get to where they are, Tang Bao said. What ability? They're just disgusting people. When the pre-sales of Belle's Talents comes out tomorrow, they'll be shocked to death. Are you on set? Yes, I'm resting now. When will you come to see me? I just went yesterday. It's not too much to come every day, right? I'm free, right? I have a call coming in. Tang Bao hung up and answered the landline. Hello? Yo, Manager Tang, you sound quite calm? Do you know what the pre-sales of women's makeup are like online? Lai Yuanqing's proud voice came through. It won't disappoint you. I've already seen it. The results are good. It's related to you. There's no doubt about it. It's what everyone wants. What can a has-been photographer and a Belle's Talents whose sales will never meet the standards do? She wants to compete with women's makeup? She's overestimating herself. Manager Lai, did you call just to say this? Why? You don't like it? Well, the losers will definitely not like it. But with the results this time, if you lose, you won't even be able to go to the fashion night. Even if you have Federin, you won't live up to your name. It's a disgrace. Tang Bao listened to Lai Yuanqing's self-praise. When he was done, he hung up the phone. Actually, Dogo was gambling, and so was she. If Tang Bao lost, Liang Jichao would definitely think of ways to trip her up. To be honest, her results in the company were good and she was always far ahead. But Liang Jichao was a cunning and suspicious person. It was because Tang Bao was too capable that he tried to suppress Tang Bao. Lai Yuanqing was also his family and confidant. Everyone knew who to give the power to. In the evening, the online sales of women's makeup had reached 150,000 yuan. She heard that Chen Tianxiao, Yao Yao, Lai Yuanqing, and the editor-in-chief of women's makeup were already celebrating. This bet seemed to have no suspense. If women's makeup did not have confidence in their company, they would not have proposed such a bet, right? On the internet, the loser would not look good and would lose face. The next day, although women's makeup did not have enough momentum, it still had 170,000 yuan. Belle's Talent was released around the same time as women's makeup. In the afternoon, Tang Bao first opened the app to take a look. The pre-sales were not very good. So she closed the app. She focused on her work. At about 3 or 4 o'clock, the office door was pushed open. Tang Bao frowned. Who was it that acted as if no one was around? She looked up and was stunned by the tall figure. Why are you here? I asked you out for dinner. Outside. Yes. Di Haotian walked into the office. Where are the children? At home. Why don't you bring them along? Tang Bao expressed her disagreement. We're spending time with just the two of us. What's the point of bringing them along? They'll be a hindrance. What kind of father are you? Chapter 796. There's still some time before I get off work, and it's still early for dinner. Are you going to wait in the car? Tang Bao asked. Can't you wait here? Di Haotian stepped forward and lifted her chin, asking dangerously. Who are you afraid of? I'm not afraid of anyone, I'm just… Forget it, if you want to wait, then wait. Please sit there and don't disturb my work. Are you afraid that I'll disturb your work, or am I making you restless just by sitting here? Restless? Tang Bao asked. Were you sure you didn't use the wrong idiom? Would she be restless? That's definitely not possible. I don't believe you. Why not? Di Hao. Before she could finish the word Tian, her mouth was sealed shut. In the next second, Di Haotian was sitting on the chair, and she was sitting on Di Haotian's lap, being kissed by Di Haotian. Tang Bao struggled. This is the office, don't mess around. What if someone sees us? You won't let me hug you at night, and I can't even kiss you. Di Haotian couldn't wait to do something naughty to her. Tang Bao's mind was blank, and she could only let him do it. She couldn't separate her lips from his. Just as the two of them were kissing passionately, the office door was pushed open with a bang. Go, let me tell you Meng Shi slammed on the brakes and stood there in a daze. Qingju, who was behind him, bumped into his back, and Meng Shi didn't react. Qingju complained that her head hurt from the bump. What are you doing? Her words were stuck there like Meng Shi. At this moment, Tang Bao was sitting in Di Haotian's arms, his suit wrinkled. The atmosphere in the office was hot. Everyone knew what the two of them were doing. Tang Bao was so frightened that she fell off Di Haotian's lap. Di Haotian quickly scooped her up and continued to sit on his lap, affectionately wiping the saliva from her red and swollen mouth. Tang Bao came back to his senses and quickly got down from Di Haotian's lap. He distanced himself and stood aside. His mind was in a constant storm. What to do? What excuse could he use? Why didn't they know how to knock before coming in? Qingju asked, This is also a rehearsal? Meng Shi broke down and shouted at her, Are you blind? Was this a rehearsal? Is this like this? Qing Ju looked at the dangerous man sitting in Tang Ji's seat and then looked at Tang Go, who was standing there motionless. Tang Bao lowered his head in surrender and raised his hand. Fine. I admit it, I'm gay. Qing Ju stood there in a daze while Meng Shi forced himself to digest this fact. In particular, why would Tang Go be in a homosexual relationship with this man? The last time they were seen kissing, they even said that they were acting together. Now, he would rather hope that the two of them were acting together. Why are you looking for me? Tang Bao did not want to see the two of them continue to shake there. After all, it was very awkward for him, wasn't it? Meng Shi was no longer in the mood to say what he wanted to say. The scene just now and the incident with Tang Bao had made his brain lose the ability to organize his word. It was Qing Ju who said, "It's just that the online pre-sales of Belle's talent have already surpassed woman's makeup." Really? That's great. When Tang Bao said this, he saw Meng Shi's expression break down even more. You actually didn't pay attention to it until now? Just because of him? Meng Shi pointed at Di Haotian angrily. Di Haotian's expression instantly darkened. Other than Tang Bao, no one dared to point at him. Men. Zhang Chao walked in with a low and intimidating voice. He pulled Meng Shi over and was about to hit him. Meng Shi naturally did not want to be outdone and started to fight with Zhang Chao. Qing Ju dodged to the side, afraid that she would be harmed. However, how could Meng Shi be a match for Zhang Chao? Zhang Chao raised his fist and was about to punch Meng Shi's face. Tang Bao was shocked and stopped him. Don't hit the face. If his face was damaged, how could he appear on camera? His face was precious. What kind of joke was this? Zhang Chao stopped. Meng Shi saw the situation and kicked him, but Zhang Chao dodged. Why are you dodging? Are you a man? Meng Shi took off his clothes and threw them on the ground, ready to fight with him. Tang Bao saw this and raised his voice with dignity. Meng Shi, what are you doing? Do you want to disfigure yourself? Do you still want to be a celebrity? You only care about my face? Have you ever considered my feelings? Why did you choose him and not me? Meng Shi was so angry that he punched the sofa. Tang Bao simply wanted to leave. At this moment, Di Haotian's expression was extremely cold. Now was not the time for her to comfort Meng Shi. Otherwise, she would be dead when she went back. No, there was no need to wait until she went back. She might be very miserable. Moreover, it was better not to give Meng Shi any illusions about this kind of thing. I like him, so I naturally won't choose you. You're an artist under me, that's all. What I'm interested in is your work ability and character. You can be partners in work or friends in life, but nothing else. If you have to bring feelings into work, then I can only terminate the contract with you. Zhang Chao, take them out. Meng Shi, you'd better see this clearly. If you can't think straight, you can change managers. Meng Shi looked at Tang Bao in disbelief. He was angry and aggrieved. But Tang Bao did not look at him and looked elsewhere. When did I say I wanted to terminate the contract? I want to stay here. Meng Shi snorted and turned to leave angrily. After the office was emptied and quiet, the atmosphere in the office was really strange. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian. Di Haotian's black eyes were looking at her deeply, as dangerous as a black hole in the universe. What are you looking at? I've already said so much just now. Di Haotian stretched out his long arm and pulled Tang Bao into his embrace, sitting on his sturdy thighs. Hey, you're still here? Tang Bao suddenly thought of something. Di Haotian, you let them in on purpose, right? Di Haotian raised his eyebrows. What do you mean? Zhang Chao is outside. Without your permission, why would he let the two of them in? You're right, Di Haotian admitted directly. Tang Bao glared at him. Are you satisfied now? Just SOSO. Tang Bao glared at him. Just SOSO? She knew that this devil definitely wanted her to chase Meng Shi away. Especially after Meng Shi said such things. To Di Haotian, this was already the limit. If Meng Shi hadn't wanted to be an artist under me back then, I might have had a very miserable start. You know, It's hard to survive in the entertainment industry if you're not careful. Although Mengxi's motives are not simple, I still have to be grateful. Do you regret what you said to him just now? Chapter 797. Di Haotian pinched her chin and looked at her domineeringly. Why don't you want me to do it? That way you can get everything. Then what's the point? I like the sense of accomplishment in my work. Look, yesterday and today, the pre-sales of women's makeup and Belle's Got Talent won in the end. Don't you think that's a bad feeling? So, you can't interfere with me otherwise. Otherwise what? Di Haotian pinched her chin and refused to let go. Otherwise, you'll sleep in the study tonight. Tang Bao glared at him. Di Haotian's lips curled into a charming smile. He kissed Tang Bao's soft lips and looked at her with his dark eyes. As long as you like it. Sleep in the study? Tang Bao asked as she was a little unsteady from Di Haotian's light breathing. What do you think? Di Haotian asked as he caressed her lip. Tang Bao felt that she was thinking too much. How could Di Haotian be willing to sleep in the study? This person would never get out of bed once he got into bed. Are you hungry? I'll take you to eat something delicious. Di Haotian hugged her and was unwilling to let go. However, he still had to feed her first. Tang Bao noticed the deep luster in Di Haotian's dark eyes, which was dangerous and beast-like. It was just a meal. What was Di Haotian thinking? This unfathomable feeling made Tang Bao nervous. They arrived at the top restaurant in Boiling City. To be honest, Tang Bao had been in Boiling City for more than 3 years and had never been here. She would only discuss matters and eat in a medium-sized place. She did not have the funds to eat in such a high-priced place. Every dish was extremely exquisite and the taste was extremely delicious. Di Haotian did not let her order. They were all ordered by Di Haotian. But every dish was her favorite. It was to her liking. Tang Bao could feel Di Haotian's gaze on her face. She felt hot and could not help but find a topic to talk about. Are you going to let me eat all the high-end delicacies in Boiling City? It doesn't taste good. Di Haotian rubbed his leg against Tang Bao's leg under the table. Tang Bao's face turned red. He quickly retracted his legs and said, I didn't say that it doesn't taste good. Can you not touch me? Also, it's one thing to bring me here, but why did you book the whole place? There were only the two of them on the entire floor. Tang Bao was not stupid. She did not believe that there was no business. Just some random people. However, Tang Bao felt that this meal was really expensive. If it weren't for Di Haotian's status and wealth, the little boss would have gone bankrupt. Eat more. Di Haotian scooped some dishes into Tang Bao's bowl. Why am I eating all of it? Why aren't you eating? He made her look like a glutton. Also, she really wanted the two babies to come over and eat such delicious food. I've already asked someone to send a portion back. Tang Bao was stunned. Damn, he actually saw through her thoughts. How scary. Di Haotian saw her lowering her head and her blushing face. He suddenly felt that the food in front of him was tasteless. There was nothing more delicious than Tang Bao. In the end, Tang Bao really ate until she was full. He put down his knife and fork. Did you eat too much? Di Haotian frowned. A little, but it's okay. Tang Bao smacked his lips. However, Di Haotian ate very little. When she looked up, she saw Di Haotian's sullen expression. He seemed angry, but at the same time, he did not seem angry. What's wrong with you? You can't even eat these things outside. Do you know how I feel now? But the food is not bad. You can tell by looking at the fair and tender skin of the two babies. Tang Bao did not expect Di Haotian to think of this. Actually, compared to Di Haotian's 3 years of insomnia, what she did was nothing at all. But even so, Di Haotian's expression did not look good. Tang Bao had no choice but to fork a piece of food into his plate. She smiled and said, I see that you haven't eaten much. Eat more. Di Haotian raised his black eyes. His black eyes were so deep and dangerous. What are you doing? Tang Bao was so shocked that he stuttered. My mind is full of your cuteness now. I want to kiss you. Tang Bao continued to stutter. His face was red and his breathing was unsteady. I have to go back. Was he going to get a room here? I've already booked a room. Tang Bao's eyes widened. Was this premeditated? She thought that they would go back after eating. Di Haotian stood up, pulled Tang Bao over, and left the restaurant. Tang Bao's brain was in a mess because of Di Haotian. He lost his ability to think. His legs seemed to be controlled by Di Haotian as he walked forward. She followed him to the elevator. When the elevator door opened, there were women and men inside. They all looked at them in astonishment. Tang Bao realized that she was a man and Di Haotian was holding her hand. It was normal for two women to hold hands, but it was a little strange for two men to hold hands. Tang Bao quickly pulled her hand back. No one could withstand Di Haotian's aura, so when they entered, the people inside automatically made way for them. Tang Bao stood beside Di Haotian and felt his face burning. It was indeed necessary for Di Haotian to book the entire restaurant. Otherwise, their interaction at the dining table would definitely be whispered and stared at by others. They would not be able to eat their meal with a clear conscience. Now, it was so awkward in the elevator. Tang Bao looked up and stole a glance at Di Haotian beside her. There was no expression on his face and he was very calm. He was not affected at all. Tang Bao was curious. Did he really not care that she was with a man and was being talked about? She suddenly wanted to tease Di Haotian. Tell me, what if your wife finds out that you booked a room with me? Tang Bao heard the people in the elevator gasping as soon as she finished speaking. However, she was more concerned about Di Haotian's reaction. Di Haotian's dark eyes had a restrained smile as he replied to her, It's okay. My heart is yours. Tang Bao continued, Will you hurt her? After all, your wife is also my sister. Tang Bao felt that the gaze in the elevator was about to kill him. Then don't let her know. Leave this matter to me. I will protect you, Di Haotian said without changing his expression. Tang Bao gritted her teeth. She really couldn't control him, so she said, Then kiss me now. If Tang Bao thought that Di Haotian wouldn't, he would at least hesitate, right? However, he did not. Just as she finished speaking, a shadow covered her and Di Haotian's lips pressed against hers. Tang Bao was dumbfounded. The gasps in her ears brought her back to reality, and she immediately pushed Di Haotian away. At this moment, the elevator doors had just reached their floor, and she was pulled out by Di Haotian. Chapter 798. At this point, the elevator door closed completely. She couldn't hear the rest of the conversation, but she could roughly guess what it was like. Tang Bao was not convinced. Why did you say that about me? Shouldn't I say that about you? You're the one who cheated on your wife. When a man cheats on his wife, he'll be called the mistress. It's normal. Di Haotian hugged her and looked at her teasingly. Are you satisfied with my cooperation just now? If you want me to be satisfied, go home now. Tang Bao turned to leave, but Di Haotian picked her up. Tang Bao lay on Di Haotian's broad shoulders and struggled. Put me down. If you continue to scream, it's none of my business if the people in the room come out, Di Haotian reminded her. Tang Bao lowered her voice. Then put me down. It's not like I can't walk. Di Haotian. He was slapped on the back. It was neither light nor heavy, but it was a punishment. Tang Bao's body stiffened and her face turned red. She stopped struggling. She obediently let Di Haotian carry her back to the room. Then he threw her out. Tang Bao fell on the bed and the shadow above covered her. Di Haotian's dark eyes were extremely deep. He looked at the little prey below him, his eyes shining dangerously. Di Haotian, that. Do you want me to take medicine again? You said not to let me take medicine. Before Tang Bao could finish her sentence, she was stunned. She saw a box of that thing appear in Di Haotian's hand. Tang Bao had fallen into Di Haotian's trap. What meal? He obviously wanted to eat her. Look, before the meal, he had already booked the room and even prepared this thing. A beast would never be able to change its nature. I noticed that it's cherry-flavored. Do you like it? Was this the time to be fussy about the taste? Can I refuse? What do you think? Bao. Di Haotian lowered his body and lifted Tang Bao's chin with his fingers. He held her face in place and kissed her deeply. Tang Bao's long feathers quivered. Di Haotian was just that domineering. Even if she did not fix her face, she would not run away. After all, where else could she run to once she entered the room? However, when he kissed her, he held her captive, as if she was a prey trapped under his sharp claws, making him like her to his heart's content. Tang Bao was kissed so hard that his breathing quickened. His face and ears were red, and his whole body seemed to be on fire. Di Haotian's breathing became heavier and heavier, becoming more and more unstable. No. Di Haotian. Tang Bao called out to him with a trembling voice. Di Haotian struggled to squeeze out a sound. Bath. Okay. Di Haotian carried her directly and rushed into the bathroom. Before the door could be closed, the shower was turned on and the hot water poured down. Di Haotian pressed Tang Bao against the wall under the shower. He kept washing Tang Bao's hair. Wait, I want to ask you something, Tang Bao asked while panting. What is it? How many boxes did you bring? 2 boxes. 1 box was 7. 2 boxes was. Tang Bao's whole body tensed up. Don't worry, you might not need the 2nd box. I'll be damned if I believe you. The next day, as expected, Tang Bao did not get up. She did not have the invincible Vajra body. Even if she had the invincible Vajra body, it would be damaged by Di Haotian. In the afternoon, when the phone rang, Tang Bao finally moved her body in a daze. The moment she moved, her little face wrinkled into a bun. It was as if she did not belong to her. She felt the person behind her let go of her and get out of bed. Then, the phone stopped ringing. Who is it? Give it to me, Tang Bao said weakly. Sleep a little longer. Di Haotian put the phone aside, got into bed again, and hugged her. He let her sleep face to face with him. Perhaps Tang Bao was really too sleepy and did not sleep for the whole night. She would not be so tired even if she worked all night. With a groggy mind, Tang Bao fell asleep again. She felt someone kiss her on the lips, but she did not have the energy to react. When Tang Bao woke up, it was almost dusk. The first thing she wanted to do when she woke up was to stay away from Di Haotian. However, just as she moved her body, her waist was hooked. What are you doing? Tang Bao frowned. Both of their clothes were very thin. Didn't he feel uncomfortable hugging her like this? She was traumatized by Di Haotian all the time. I'm just hugging you. I won't do anything. Even if I want to, I'll bear with it, Di Haotian said in a low and hoarse voice as he bit her lips. Tang Bao turned her face and flung his arm away. He still had the nerve to say that? The devil's appetite was really scary. She asked, What time is it? 5:00. Di Haotian looked at the time and said, It's so late? We have dinner at home at 6:00. Shall we go back? Can you move? Di Haotian asked. Tang Bao did not look good, but her face was flushed. You don't have to worry. Since he was worried that she could not move, couldn't he be gentler? Bastard. But even though she said that, when she sat up, it still made her gnash her teeth in anger. The next second, her body was light as Di Haotian picked her up. What are you doing? Tang Bao held his broad shoulders with both hands. You'll feel better if you take a bath. When Tang Bao turned around, she saw a mess of used things on the floor beside the bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before she finished counting, she felt her scalp go numb. Was this called not needing a second box? When they reached home, it was already past 7:00. Tang Bao asked Hiju, Have the 2 babies eaten? They've already eaten. Where are they? They're playing in the room, Hiju said and went out. Since they were back, he naturally did not have to watch over them anymore. Tang Bao pushed open the door to the two babies' room. There was no one inside. Di Haotian opened the door to their room and froze. Tang Bao walked over. "What's the matter?" Before he could finish his sentence, he also froze and looked at the situation inside in astonishment. He saw the two babies sitting in front of the box, opening it and blowing the contents like balloons. They blew the contents all over the floor of the room. There were even little tails on the balloons. Di Haotian, Tang Bao, exclamation point. When the two babies saw the two of them standing still at the door, Xiao Bao called out happily, "Daddy, Daddy! There are so many balloons here. Big brother and I blew them up. Aren't we awesome?" Tang Bao almost fell on his head. He quickly walked over and pulled the two up. "Stop blowing. These are not balloons." Bao was unhappy that there were still things he did not know. He frowned and asked, "Then what are these?" How would Tang Bao know how to explain it to them? He looked at Di Haotian for help. Di Haotian's face darkened. "Go wash your hands and faces." Chapter 799. He hurriedly ran outside to wash his hands. The two little guys were there, washing their hands and talking. "Brother, Daddy and Daddy seem to be angry? Can't those balloons be moved?" "It looks like they can't be moved. But why? Didn't they buy them for us to play with?" Xiao Bao asked innocently. Bao glanced at her and did not say anything. Tang Bao looked at the balloons on the floor and then looked at Di Haotian's face, which was as black as the bottom of a pot, especially when he went to count the remaining balloons in the box. He finally understood why Di Haotian's face was so black. He could not help but laugh. "Ha ha 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 ha, ah ha 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 ha." He laughed so hard that he fell onto the bed and tears came out. "Why is it so funny, ha 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 ha?" When the two babies heard Tang Bao's laughter, they quickly ran over. They saw Di Haotian squatting beside the box, looking very scary. Meanwhile, Tang Bao was lying on the bed, laughing non-stop. Xiao Bao ran over and said, "Daddy, are you laughing? I thought you would be angry. Does that mean we didn't do anything wrong? Daddy, let me tell you, the balloons are so delicious and sweet." Tang Bao could not laugh anymore. He looked at Xiao Bao and Bao's mouth. Then, he looked at Di Haotian and asked silently, "It shouldn't be harmful if you eat it, right?" "No." Di Haotian's face was cold. These two little guys were born to go against him. They actually blew away more than half of the balloons. He wondered if that shop still had any more. No, he had to get them to stock up in advance. Otherwise, it would be too late. When it was time to sleep at night, Tang Bao could not help but laugh when he thought about it. "Is it funny?" Di Haotian rubbed his thin lips against Tang Bao's neck. Tang Bao wanted to laugh even more. He dodged and said, "It's so funny. We should have come back later. That way we could have blown away all the balloons." "What are you doing? Don't move. You think you can't buy it without me? Being with you is definitely harmful to my health." Tang Bao gritted his teeth. "Wrong. The more I'm loved, the more radiant I become. It's like a flower being watered." Tang Bao turned around with his back facing him. "Who can take it when you're like this?" Di Haotian hugged her from behind. "That's not what you said here. It likes it very much. Why would it let go?" Tang Bao blushed and closed his eyes. The next day, when he returned to the company, Tang Bao had just sat down when someone knocked on his office door. It was Monzi who came in. It was rare for him to wake up so early. Moreover, looking at Mengshi's face, he didn't seem to have slept well. However, if he could knock on the door before entering, it meant that his anger had subsided a lot, right? "What's the matter?" Tang Bao asked. "Are you really going to be with that man?" Monzi asked, standing there with his back straight. Tang Bao pursed his lips. Di Haotian wasn't here today, so she could say more, right? "Yes, I want to be with him. It's not just for a day or two, but for a lifetime. Moreover, I've been with him for a long time. Previously, we separated because we had some conflicts and I was avoiding him. Now that he's found me, our misunderstanding has been resolved, and we're together again. Monzi, between him and me, it's not something that outsiders can come between us. Do you understand? Monzi was unwilling at first, but in the end, she became depressed and slumped on the sofa. I knew it. When I first saw that man, I felt a sense of hostility in my heart. This feeling can't be wrong. Alright, it's fine as long as you get over this kind of thing. How can I not get over it? Do you think I can win against him? Tang Bao laughed. You definitely can't win against him. Ah! Monzi screamed manically, then looked at Tang Bao. Then you have to be happy. If that man does you wrong, I won't let him off. After all, he has a criminal record. What criminal record? Tang Bao did not react in time. I saw him skating with a young girl and kissing. A young girl. Tang Bao thought to himself. She was the mother of 2 children. Got it. I'll keep an eye on him in the future. Tang Bao laughed. Then he said, since there's nothing else, you can go back and rest. You still have to go to the set today. How are you going to appear on camera like this? I still have something to do. What is it? Bell's Got Talent held a celebratory banquet. At first, your cell phone was still connected, but later on it was turned off? People were wondering what was going on. Tang Bao had forgotten about this matter. She had been so affected by Di Haotian that she had completely forgotten about it. Bastard. Maybe the battery ran out, so it was turned off. I had something to do yesterday, so it was delayed. What important thing? Weren't you with that man yesterday? Is it because of this? Tang Bao looked like he wanted to say something. You know. You can go back first. I'll give you a call. Tang Bao chased him away. Meng Shi left the office with a sour heart. Tang Bao checked the call history on his phone. She remembered that when she was sleeping in the hotel last night, her phone did ring. Later, she fell asleep again because of this. She didn't look at her phone until she was about to go to bed, so she didn't know that her phone was turned off. It must have been Di Haotian. According to the call log, Fan Siming from Bell Talent had personally called her in the afternoon. Tang Bao replied, "Hello, Chief Editor Fan. Sorry, my phone ran out of battery yesterday, so I turned it off. I only found out this morning, so I called you back immediately." It's alright. It's just that the pre-sales of Bell's Got Talent were more than double of what we expected. They left woman's makeup in the dust. Such a success was definitely worthy of a celebratory feast. If it wasn't for your hard work, Bell's Got Talent wouldn't be where it is now. Not at all. Bell's Got Talent gave us this opportunity. I appreciate it, really. As for the celebratory feast, I'll definitely go. Then let's set it for today. Can you arrange it? Yes, I'm free tonight. Okay, then it's a deal. After hanging up, the phone rang again. It was Liang Jichao. He picked it up. Mr. Liang. Tanggu, everyone saw the pre-sales of Bell's Got Talent this time. You did a good job. I'm really appreciating you more and more. Liang Jichao was always this sly and cunning. Thank you, Mr. Liang. I'll work harder. Tang Bao had learned this kind of superficial skill after working with such a boss. So, I'm going to give you a promotion. A promotion? Transfer to the head office and be promoted to deputy director. This position is not for everyone. I have high hopes for you. Tang Bao bit his lip and thought to himself, deputy director? Who didn't know that the previous deputy director resigned because he was too bored in his position? That was because deputy directors didn't take care of artists. Chapter 800. Giving her a promotion sounded nice, but in reality, it was just to make her a mere figurehead. When she had no artistes or resources, Liang Jichao would have nothing to lose even if he kicked her out. It was really a good plan. CEO Liang, let's forget about the promotion. I'm doing quite well as a manager now, and I've never thought of getting a promotion, Tang Bao declined politely. How can I forget about it? You've worked hard, but I'm going to ignore it? What will others think of me? This won't do. In the company, everyone competes fairly. Rewards should be rewarded, and promotions should be promoted. We can't be sloppy. Otherwise, who would be willing to work hard in the company, don't you think so? Come over for a meeting in the afternoon and talk about your promotion. Since everything was already prepared, Tang Bao naturally had no way to refuse. She agreed. Okay, I'll be there in the afternoon. Tang Bao put down her phone. She had thought about how Liang Jichao would deal with her if she did not do well. She did not expect that even if she did well, she would still be schemed against. It seemed that the company was really not suitable for her to stay. In the afternoon, Tang Bao went to the headquarters. Before she even reached the meeting room, she had just entered the company when someone congratulated her. Congratulations on her promotion. When she reached the meeting room, there were even more congratulations. Tang Bao smiled. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your appreciation, CEO Liang. Lai Yuanqing smiled. Tang Gu, you're the luckiest person in our company. Think about it, no one has been promoted faster than you. Tang Bao thought to herself, are you saying that everyone in the company is not as good as me? She noticed that Liang Jichao did not look too good. If you don't know what to say, don't say it. What do you mean? If you really want to compare, Manager Lai is the best. I think he'll be better than CEO Liang in the future, Tang Bao said, pretending to be casual. Lai Yuanqing's expression changed. What nonsense are you talking about? So I'm talking nonsense? Then I won't say it. Enough. Liang Jichao stopped Lai Yuanqing from continuing. His expression changed, and he smiled. Today's meeting is mainly to talk about Tang Ji's promotion. In the future, he'll be transferred to our headquarters as deputy director. When Tang Bao came out of the meeting room, he was stopped by Lai Yuanqing. Are you in a hurry to leave? Why don't you stay a little longer? There's no need for that, right? Besides, didn't I get promoted now? There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Lai Yuanqing's face stiffened. This person always had something to say to stop him. He was really not likable. How about this, Tang Go, you be my artist? I promise to give you all the resources. I'm surprised. So Manager Lai thinks so highly of me? Of course. At first glance, I can tell that you are a person with a bright future. My foresight is not wrong. Since you have such good taste, how did the pre-sales of women's makeup lose to Belle Belle's Got Talent? Tang Bao said before he turned around and left without even looking at Lai Yuanqing's twisted expression. Everyone was well aware of the Tang Bao's promotion. When she had just arrived at the company, Meng Shi and Qing Ju had both arrived. They were her capable subordinates. What does that idiot Liang Jichao mean? Meng Shi was fuming. Qing Ju said worriedly, Brother Tang, he obviously doesn't want you to stay in the company. What promotion? This is CEO Liang's usual trick. I've been in the company for so many years, and I've seen many of his tricks. You know, but others know better, Tang Bao said calmly. It's fine if you don't do well, but even if you do well, you'll still be suppressed. Go, what are you still doing here? With your ability, where can't you stay? I think you should open your own studio, Meng Shi said. Open a studio? Qing Ju was stunned. Can't I? Anyway, if you open a studio, I'll go, Meng Shi said. Follow me? Tang Bao was surprised. Yeah, do you think I care about this place? It's because of you that I'm here, Meng Shi said indifferently. Qing Ju also stood up and said, Brother Tang, you have to take me with you. If you leave, I don't want to stay here either. You have to think carefully. Maybe I'll really open a studio. Besides, how famous can a newly opened studio be? It's better to stay here than to leave with me, right? What if my studio closes down in the end? If it closes down, I'll film for you for free, Qing Ju said. I'll ask my dad to invest in it for me. Tang Bao smiled. He didn't dote on them for nothing. Okay, since you've decided, I'll take you with me when I leave. With my food, you won't starve. Tang Bao's mood was not affected by his promotion. In fact, it got better. In the afternoon, he called Di Haotian. I'm not going back for dinner tonight. What are you going to do? Di Haotian's voice was obviously cold. Belle's Got Talent is having a celebration party. I have to go. After Tang Bao said that, there was only silence. He didn't need to look at Di Haotian's expression to know what it was like. I'll be back early. How early can you be? Can you be back by 6 o'clock? Di Haotian's voice was threatening. I haven't eaten at 6 o'clock yet. Tang Bao held his forehead helplessly. He knew that this would be the case when he called Di Haotian. But if he didn't report it, the consequences would be even worse. No drinking, no talking to the opposite sex, and no messing around behind my back. Can't I drink? Just drink a little. Can't you at least pretend? Then don't go. Okay. I won't drink. I won't touch a drop of alcohol. Although Tang Bao promised, it was hard to say. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Di Haotian sat on the sofa in the living room and stared at the TV without moving. Cartoon was playing on the TV. The two babies sat on the other side of the sofa. Their short legs were in the air, and their little faces were soon pressed together. Brother, why is Dad watching TV without blinking? Xiao Bao asked softly. Bao looked at Di Haotian. In fact, he had noticed it long ago, but he didn't say anything. He didn't believe that there was an adult who liked cartoons and would watch them without moving. Are you going to look for my dad? Bao asked mischievously. Di Haotian came back to his senses and looked at Bao and Xiao Bao without any expression on his face. It was as if he wasn't very interested in Bao's words. Bao thought to himself, did I guess wrong? After a moment, Di Haotian said, I'll get Uncle He-ju to watch over you. When it's time to go to bed, you hear me? Bao felt that he had guessed right. It was really as he said. This was because every time their dad didn't come back for dinner, his expression would be like this. It was even harder to control than their emotions. Di Haotian stood up, rudely patted their heads, and left without any reluctance. Chapter 801. At this time, Tang Bao, Meng Shi, Qingju, Dogu, her assistant, the chief editor and deputy editor of the magazine, and the other editors were all drinking and laughing in the private room. I saw the chief editor of Women's Makeup a few days ago. I was about to greet him, but he turned around and left as if he didn't see me. How ungentlemanly, an editor said. That's for sure. They used to ride on our heads and bully us. Now that they've lost in front of the public, who doesn't know how confident they were back then? If it were me, I wouldn't have the face either. Another editor said. That's right. They're not as arrogant as before. This is all thanks to Dogu. His sensitivity can be said to be at the level of a genius. He can immediately capture the audience's preferences, Fan Siming said. Dogu, let me toast you. Chief editor, you flatter me. Thank you. Dogu raised her glass and drank the wine. After drinking, she turned around and saw Tang Gu sitting in the armrest lazily. Her eyes were half closed and her face was red. She drank a little too much. The fine light sprinkled down, making the skin on her face look even fairer, tender, and smooth. She was beautiful, adorable, and attractive. Dogu looked away vigilantly. What was she thinking? This was a man, not a woman. Brother Tang, are you okay? Qingju, who was sitting next to her, asked. Tang Gu, is that all you can drink? In any case, you're still one of the top managers. Someone teased. That's right. I didn't drink much. Tang Bao smiled drunkenly. She didn't like to talk because she was controlled by alcohol, but her mind was clear. She just listened to them. She sat up straight. How can I drink as much as you? I don't usually drink. Aren't I happy today? I just drank a little. It's okay, it's not that serious. Her words were clear and she didn't sway, but her face was very red. By the way, Tang Gu, are you going to attend the fashion night? Fan Siming remembered and asked. Yes, Meng Shi and Qing Ju, Tang Bao said. Do you know that there's a photography and design competition on the fashion night? Fan Siming asked. I heard about it, but I don't have a photographer under me. In the past, they were all assigned by the company. They're not very good. I don't really like them, Tang Bao told the truth. I let Do Gu participate, Fan Siming said. That's a good thing. We can't miss such an opportunity, Tang Bao agreed. Do Gu was prepared to participate in the competition, but when Tang Bao looked at him, he did not look as expectant as the others thought. After putting down the wine glass, Do Gu went out to find the bathroom. When he was washing his hands in front of the mirror, he felt someone standing behind him. He turned around and saw a blushing woman leaning against the wall with her arms crossed as she looked at him. Are you all right? Do Gu asked. Tang Bao shook his head. The alcohol is really strong. As long as it's not too big, I can still stand. Do Gu looked at her. You have something to say to me. Are you ready for the competition? This is my chance, Do Gu said. A chance to turn things around. Tang Bao nodded. He felt dizzy and immediately stopped tapping. You definitely have to participate in the competition. But before you participate, it's best that you investigate the matter of plagiarism. Do Gu frowned as she thought about the feasibility of this matter. It's been 3 years, so it's not easy to investigate. But as long as you have the heart and it's for your own future, you can work hard. Otherwise, even if you get first place on the day of the competition, you know that this is an online world. If you create hype, not only will it not be beneficial to you, it will also be harmful. The good thing is that you know who your opponent is. Someone like Chen Tianxiao will definitely not let go of an opportunity to create hype for him. I'm also thinking about this matter. Just like you said, if I get first place, the matter of plagiarism will definitely be dug up again. It won't be beneficial to me at all. My ranking might even be revoked because of this, or even worse, my qualification will be permanently revoked. So, if I want to participate in the competition, I have to investigate it. Otherwise, there won't be much point in me participating. It's good that you have this thought. Thank you for coming out to tell me all this. And I seem to be overthinking it. Tang Bao narrowed his eyes and smiled. How can that be? This will make me even more eager to see what happens. Let's go back to the private room. Tang Bao turned around and was about to leave when he staggered. Be careful. Do Gu instinctively went to help him. Tang Bao withdrew his arm. No need, I can walk on my own. Do Gu looked at her empty hand and thought, it seems that he doesn't like to be touched by others? As soon as they entered the private room, before they could sit down, the waiter came in and looked around. Excuse me, who is Tang Gu? Tang Bao stood up. It's me. What's wrong? Someone is looking for you outside. Looking for me? Yes, I'll take you there. Okay. Meng Shi quickly stood up. I'll go with you. No need. Tang Bao pressed Qing Ju, who was about to get up. It must be a friend looking for me. Why are you going? Stay here, I'll be right back. Meng Shi and Qing Ju looked at each other because they suddenly thought of a man who had an affair with Tang Gu. As Tang Bao walked out, he thought, who is looking for me? Does I know anyone here? Fan Siming asked. He's obviously drunk. Is it okay to go over like this? Do you want one of you to go out and watch him? No need. We know his friend. Meng Shi's face was gloomy. Yes, I know him too. Qing Ju smiled. Tang Bao followed the waiter who led the way. The more he walked, the more dizzy he felt. When he looked up, the waiter was gone. Where is he? Didn't he say that he would take me to see the person looking for me? Why did he suddenly leave? How do I know who is looking for me? Tang Bao muttered as he walked around. Who is looking for me? If there's no one, I have to go back. Losing his balance, he staggered and fell backward. Tang Bao's brain was very slow because of the alcohol. He did not feel afraid, but he did not fall to the ground either. When he leaned down, a long arm reached out and hugged her back. Tang Bao's drunken eyes looked at the handsome face above him. It was so cold that there was not a trace of a smile. It was really not pleasing to the eye. Di Haotian? Why are you here? Fortunately, Tang Bao could still recognize people. It seemed that he was not too drunk. Di Haotian's face could no longer be described as ugly. It was cold. What did I say on the phone? Phone? I don't know. Tang Bao thought for a while and said. Di Haotian's face was tense. He was already suppressing himself. Otherwise, he was afraid that he would tear her apart. He asked her not to drink. She agreed faster than anything else on the phone. In the blink of an eye, she drank herself to this extent. Chapter 802. The more Di Haotian thought about it, the gloomier his face became. What's wrong with you? Are you angry? Why don't I treat you to a drink? Di Haotian tried his best to calm down. He picked up Tang Bao and left. They left the messy bar. A black domineering car was parked at the entrance. When Di Haotian was about to get into the car with Tang Bao in his arms, Tang Bao grabbed Di Haotian's collar and pouted. I don't want to get in, she said. Where do you want to go then? Tang Bao looked around and pointed forward. Over there. Di Haotian looked in the direction she was pointing. There was nothing in front of him, only an endless stretch of asphalt road. Put me down. I'll walk there myself. Tang Bao struggled. Di Haotian complied and put her down. Tang Bao walked forward with light steps. Di Haotian followed closely behind to prevent her from falling. Tang Bao walked forward without any destination in mind. There were street lamps on both sides. However, after leaving the brightly lit area at the entrance of the bar, the further they walked, the darker it became. As they walked, Tang Bao stopped. She looked into the distance. There was no one there. Not even a car could be seen. It was as if she could not see the darkness of the future. You don't have to worry about me. My mind is very clear now. I've been to the bar a few times before. But I went back very early because the babies were at home. Every time I go back, I like to walk for a while. I'm the only one on the road. I can't see my future and I'm very lost. I'll just stand here until the driver reminds me to go back. Tang Bao said as she looked at her toes dejectedly. Di Haotian heard her words clearly and transmitted them to his mind. There was a deep emotion in his dark eyes. It was as if he had been pierced. He walked forward and hugged Tang Bao from behind. He buried his head in her neck and said in a low and hoarse voice, You won't be alone in the future. Yeah, I still have Bao and Xiao Bao. How can I be alone? Tang Bao suddenly realized something. What about me? Don't you think about me? Di Haotian was not talking about the two children, but himself. Tang Bao was stunned. Di Haotian? Would Di Haotian always be with her? Di Haotian turned her around so that he could see her face clearly and also let her see his eyes clearly. He asked again, What about me? You? Will you accompany me? Always, always, always? Tang Bao looked up and asked with a hint of drunken innocence. Yes, I'll always be by your side. I'll accompany you and protect you. You'll never be able to get rid of me. Di Haotian pinched her chin and said affectionately and domineeringly. Tang Bao listened and then chuckled. Di Haotian, can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Do you like me? No, Di Haotian answered without hesitation. I see. Tang Bao felt as if her head and body had been soaked in sulfuric acid. She could not suppress the strong effects of the alcohol. Just as she was about to step back, she heard Di Haotian say, I love you. Tang Bao stared at him blankly, as if she could not believe what she had just heard. What did you say? She asked. I don't like you. I only love you. After Di Haotian finished speaking, he kissed Tang Bao's rosy lips gently but slowly before letting go. Tang Bao continued to stare blankly at Di Haotian as if she did not know this person. Her intelligence was completely messed up now. Just like at this moment, she had forgotten that she was still wearing men's clothes. Even her voice had become gentle and beautiful. Di Haotian, I have another question. I'm listening. Di Haotian thought that drinking too much alcohol had its benefit. She would not avoid the question anymore. Why are you so good in that aspect? Was that even a question? Wasn't he always good at that? However, from Di Haotian's raised eyebrows and gentle gaze, it seemed that he liked questions about that aspect very much. You're so good that I'm doubting my life. Tang Bao smiled dizzily. Don't doubt it. If you accept it, I can be even better. Tang Bao shook her head reluctantly. I can't stand it here, I can't stand it. Di Haotian looked over. Tang Bao's finger was pointing at her left chest where her heart was and asked, Is it too violent? Tang Bao shook her head. Every time you say those words, my heart will beat very violently. It's very uncomfortable, as if it's going to jump out of my chest. What did I say? You said that you want to always be by my side. Some very domineering words. Just now, you said that you love me. It sounds very strange here. Tang Bao pointed at her chest and said in a daze. Di Haotian looked at her with his dark eyes. So that was what she was referring to. However, it made his heart ache and soften. He thought that she did not feel anything when she heard it. He could not help but hug her forcefully and pull her into his embrace. Do you like it then? Do you want to be with me forever? Tang Bao did not answer him. She only felt that he was hugging her a little too tightly. She moved her body but did not feel better. You're hugging me too tightly. Then tell me, do you want to be with me or not? If you don't say it, I'll keep hugging you so tightly. Tang Bao lifted her little face and pouted. You're too domineering. Di Haotian was tempted by her little mouth and kissed her a few times. He said in a low and husky voice, I'm only domineering towards you. Are you going to say it or not? I don't know. How can you not know? Tang Bao thought about it seriously and then said, Your shoulders are so hard. She pinched them with her two little claws. Di Haotian was tempted by her pinching, but he still resisted the urge to know Tang Bao's answer. You haven't told me if you want to be with me. You're so annoying. Let me touch you. She was very unhappy that her hand was being grabbed. She would not stop until she touched him. Then tell me. I'll let you touch me when you're done. Yes. Was this the truth after drinking, or did she say something against her will because she wanted to touch him? What do you want? Di Haotian asked. I've already said it. Aren't you annoying? Tang Bao lost her patience. Di Haotian could only let her touch him. This feeling really made him tense up. Tang Bao's claws groped Di Haotian's body. She pressed his cheeks, touched his arms, and even boldly grabbed his collar. Enough. Di Haotian said helplessly, Back to the car. No, it's not enough. Tang Bao mumbled, Why are you getting touchy? Di Haotian felt a headache coming on. Who was the one who was touching him? Before he could say anything, Tang Bao's claws pulled his lip. Your mouth burp. Tang Bao's mouth reeked of alcohol. She paused for a while and continued, Why does it look so good? It looks better than a woman, hee. Listening to Tang Bao's nonsense, Di Haotian gradually became expressionless and suppressed his inner thoughts. It does look good, but it's always naughty. Tang Bao added. Chapter 803. What's that? I'll take you to the car? Di Haotian picked Tang Bao up and carried her to the car. After getting into the car, he pinned Tang Bao down and kissed her fiercely. He kissed Tang Bao so hard that she couldn't catch her breath and struggled. Her face was red and her breathing was rapid. Let go of me, I feel terrible. Di Haotian looked down at her and said in a hoarse voice, Rest early then. When Tang Bao woke up the next day, she felt as if she had been hit by a train for a whole night. She was clean and refreshed, wearing men's pajamas, but she didn't know what had happened to her because she was exhausted and in pain. No, she knew what had happened, but she didn't know why it had happened. What had that scene looked like? She was completely confused. She remembered that she had gone to the bar to celebrate. Later, she was too happy and couldn't refuse his kindness, so she drank some alcohol. She drank one mouthful after another. Anyway, she stopped drinking when she felt that her face was a little flushed. Later, Di Haotien came and took her out of the bar. Therefore, the person who had hid her the whole night couldn't have been anyone else but Di Haotien. But what had happened after that? Just as she was thinking about this, the door opened. Tang Bao turned around and saw Di Haotien leaning lazily against the door. He looked at her with his deep, dark eyes. "You're awake? How did you sleep?" Looking at Di Haotien's refreshed look, Tang Bao was very upset and angry. "What did you do last night? You didn't feel anything." "It's because I felt terrible that I asked you. You actually took advantage of me." "It's just that you were very happy to be comforted by me," Di Haotien said calmly. Tang Bao looked at him suspiciously. Did this person think that she could say anything when she was drunk? Very happy? He must have coaxed and lied to her. She was drunk and her mind was not clear, so she was still at his mercy. Di Haotien looked at Tang Bao's slightly confused expression. His dark eyes sharpened as he looked at her and asked, "Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened last night? What happened? Isn't it just going to rest earlier?" Tang Bao said angrily. "Have you forgotten what you said to me?" "What did he say?" "How much do you remember what I said to you?" Di Haotien frowned and stared at her sharply. Tang Bao saw that Di Haotien's expression was not quite right. Was he going to explode? Just because she didn't remember what he said? "Forget it, I'll think about it carefully. Maybe I can remember it so as not to make him unhappy." Thus Tang Bao thought very seriously. Di Haotien was waiting there, but his expression was definitely extremely ugly. After a long while, Tang Bao slowly raised her head and met Di Haotien's cold, dark eyes. What did you say?" Di Haotien's face instantly darkened. It was as cold as an icehouse, and the air was invaded by the cold. Tang Bao looked at him a little guardedly. "You don't remember a single word?" Di Haotien asked, his veins almost popping out. I drank a little too much, so I." Tang Bao was terrified. What did Di Haotien say to her? Why did he look like he wanted to eat her alive? Di Haotien did not say a word and turned to leave the room. He was afraid that if he stayed any longer, he would do it until she remembered. Tang Bao stared blankly at Di Haotien as he left. "What's wrong with this person? His temper is too bad, isn't it?" She scratched her head in confusion. What did Di Haotien say? Is it very important? Why did she drink so much for no reason? This person did not pursue the matter of her drinking, but kept asking about what she said. How could she remember such a small matter? The two babies ran in, waving their short legs. "Daddy! Daddy!" Xiao Bao climbed onto the bed. "Daddy, why is Daddy angry?" You can tell?" Tang Bao asked softly. "Yes. It's so scary. He even forced me to drink all the milk." Xiao Bao pointed at her fingers pitifully. "That's for your own good. You can grow taller after drinking milk." Tang Bao could not possibly say that Di Haotien was taking his anger out on him. He was afraid that it would not be good for the children. If Di Haotien continued to be like this, wouldn't it be worse for the children? Tang Bao walked out of the room and deliberately looked for Di Haotien's men. But he realized that there was no one. Where did he go? Tang Bao was not in a hurry to find Di Haotien. He thought that he was in the study or somewhere else handling some matters. So he went to wash up first. After washing up, he only saw the two babies playing in the living room. Di Haotien was still nowhere to be seen. He could not help but ask the two babies, "Have you seen Daddy?" After asking, Tang Bao was stunned. Why did he ask that? Shouldn't he have asked, "Have you seen Uncle?" What the hell? Had she been subtly influenced? Was it all right? Anyway, Di Haotien was their father. Behind Daddy. Xiao Bao pointed with her little finger. What? Behind? Tang Bao turned around and saw the person standing silently behind her. She was so scared that she took a step back and looked at Di Haotian warily. Where were you just now? Why did he appear and disappear so suddenly? You're not eating breakfast? Di Haotian's expression was obviously better. Although he was still a little cold, his eyes were not as scary as before. Tang Bao looked at the clock on the wall and said, "It's almost noon. I'll eat with lunch. There are still 2 hours before lunch. It's okay. I'm not hungry now anyway." Tang Bao thought to herself that she would eat Xiao Bao's snacks later. However, Di Haotian did not give her the chance. Without saying a word, he grabbed her wrist and went straight to the dining room. Tang Bao turned around and saw the 2 babies looking at them, especially Xiao Bao. She was covering her mouth with her little hands and laughing nonstop beside her Bao. "Hey!" Tang Bao lowered her voice. "Can you give me some face and stop dragging me around?" Di Haotian sat her down and went to serve her breakfast. It was a Chinese and Western breakfast. Tang Bao looked up at Di Haotian. "It's okay to eat like this normally. Lunch is in 2 hours. Eat as much as you can. Eat everything." Balanced nutrition? Tang Bao pursed her lips and stopped resisting. It was useless anyway. Di Haotian sat opposite her and watched her eat. He said, "I'm going back to D City in the afternoon." "Oh, it's okay. You can go and handle it," Tang Bao said quickly. "Are you happy that I'm leaving?" Di Haotian frowned. "Did I smile? I didn't, right? Since there isn't, how can I be happy?" Tang Bao said reasonably. Di Haotian could tell what she was thinking and did not want to expose her. Anyway, he was coming over tonight. Chapter 804. However, when he thought of what Tang Bao had asked the 2 babies just now, he felt a little better. Thinking of this, he leaned forward and wiped the oil stains on the corner of Tang Bao's mouth. Tang Bao froze in the middle of chewing. She raised her wary eyes and looked at Di Haotian. She asked silently, "What's going on? He's not angry anymore? Wasn't he extremely angry when he was in the room just now? He just turned around and left. Why is he suddenly so gentle now? What happened?" Di Haotian acted as if he didn't see the question in Tang Bao's eyes. He did his own thing and wiped her clean. No matter how much she ate, the corners of her mouth would still be oily. Di Haotian didn't think that he was doing anything unnecessary. On the other hand, Tang Bao's face was almost on the table because of his stare. "Which school are you going to send them to?" Di Haotian asked. At the mention of the children, Tang Bao raised her head. She glanced in the direction of the 2 little guys and said, "I've looked at 2 schools, but I don't know which one is good. One is private and the other is public. I'm still thinking about it." "What's there to think about? Private," Di Haotian said. Tang Bao thought so too. She just wanted to be more cautious when it came to the children. For example, she wanted to investigate the background of the school or something. "I can do this." Tang Bao raised her head and looked at Di Haotian. "Is there a problem?" Di Haotian frowned. "No." Tang Bao shook her head. The children were also Di Haotian's, so it was normal for him to be involved. What she found strange was that Di Haotian didn't suggest that the children go back to school in D City. In comparison, D City was definitely better. Other children didn't even have the money or privilege to go to D City. Tang Bao sometimes wondered if it was because of her selfishness that her child could not study in the best school. Just as Tang Bao was lost in thought, one of her hands was held. She couldn't help but look over. Her hand looked very small in Di Haotian's hand. If they are talented, it doesn't matter where they are. Di Haotian's black eyes were so deep, like a whirlpool in a black hole that was about to suck her in. Tang Bao's fingers twitched involuntarily. Why was Di Haotian always able to see through her even though she didn't say anything? Was it because his gaze was too penetrating? Lai Yuanqing had been waiting in Tang Bao's office for an hour, but there was still no sign of him. Her assistant, Xiao Ding, had been waiting by the side as a punching bag. I say, does your manager Tang have eyes on top of his head? Xiao Ding said innocently, no, he's the same as us. Lai Yuanqing was so angry that he wanted to curse. Thinking about it, what should he curse now? When he replaced Tang Go, he would have to deal with all the people here. Call me again and ask when she's coming. Don't you need to hand over your work? But Manager Tang is busy right now. Busy with what? Isn't it just because the magazine's sales are good and women's makeup has been suppressed? So what if you've won just once? Manager Lai, why don't you call Manager Tang? Xiao Ding said. I called, but no one picked up. If someone picked up, I'd ask you. Xiao Ding felt that she had never been bombarded like today since she started working. However, she was just a small assistant. When faced with such a situation, she could only endure it. But this was the situation in front of her. If Manager Tang really quit, what would she do? Wouldn't she have to suffer like this forever? As for why Tang Bao hadn't returned to the branch office after lunch, it was because she was currently at the head office, in Liang Jichao's office. President Liang, I only have this request. Nothing else. Liang Jichao seemed to be in a difficult position. When the fashion night is over, you can take over the position of deputy director. It won't take long, but I've already asked Manager Lai to take over your work. Everything else has been arranged. Tang Bao was neither anxious nor impatient. She asked calmly, President Liang, I've been preparing for the fashion night. I've also met with Fei Dallin and discussed some details. If it's someone else, I'm afraid it won't be good. Qingju won't be a problem. You know Meng Shi's temper. If he doesn't go when the slots are up, it won't be good if there's more news. I'm telling the truth. There's no meaning in it. The key is that when I leave the branch office, Meng Shi and Qingju can follow Manager Lai willingly. If the fashion night is done well, the company will be able to get a considerable amount of resources. This will only be good for the company, don't you think? Since Liang Jichao was heartless to her, it was natural for her to lie. In short, she didn't care if the fashion night was good for others. Since she was leaving the company, she had to leave a way out for herself. When it came to benefits for the company, Liang Jichao was a cunning person. Tang Bao believed that he would agree. Liang Jichao had tried this trick of burning the bridge after crossing the river and killing the donkey under the millstone. So in the end, Liang Jichao nodded. Okay, then wait until after the fashion night. I admire your work ability very much, and I believe that there won't be any problems. Okay, thank you for your trust, President Liang. After the fashion night, I'll return to the head office. Before Tang Bao stepped into the office, he heard Lai Yuanqing's hoarse voice. Lai Yuanqing was an idiot. In any job, he was either outstanding or an idiot, just like Lai Yuanqing. Presumably, if it weren't for the fact that they were related, Liang Jichao wouldn't have taken a fancy to him. Damn it, Tanggu, Manager Lai, you're looking for me? Tang Bao pushed the door open and walked in. Lai Yuanqing, who was at a loss for words, saw Tang Bao and didn't have time to retract the anger on his face. Tanggu, you're so free. I can't even see you for a day. Lai Yuanqing mocked. I can't help it. I'm too busy. May I know why Manager Lai is looking for me? Tang Bao asked, as if he didn't understand anything. When Lai Yuanqing heard Tang Bao's question, he immediately became excited. With a sneer on his face, he said, Don't you have any idea? Sorry, I'm too busy. Did something happen that I don't know about? If you don't even have this little bit of foresight, how can you manage an artist? Tang Bao didn't say anything. He just stood there indifferently, thinking that Lai Yuanqing was acting alone. Next to him, Xiao Ding thought, Manager Tang is really good-tempered. He didn't even react. He thought sadly, Can I always follow Manager Tang in the future? Transfer notice. Lai Yuanqing threw the notice in his hand on the office floor with a bang. Manager Tang, no, I should call you Deputy Director Tang. From now on, you're no longer manager Tang. Hurry up and pack up and leave. Tang Bao picked up the notice on the desk, glanced at it, and said, I think you'd better call President Liang first. Chapter 805. President Liang. What? But, seeing Lai Yuanqing's glare at Tang Bao, he knew what Liang Jichao would say. After hanging up the phone, Lai Yuanqing was furious. Tang Go, what did you say to President Liang? What are you trying to do? Manager Lai, you're wrong. What do you think I'm trying to do? We're both thinking about the company's future. Otherwise, President Liang wouldn't let me continue to be an agent. Don't you think so? Isn't Manager Lai thinking about the company's future? If President Liang sees through your thoughts, it won't be good. Tang Bao said with a smile. Lai Yuanqing was so angry that he couldn't speak for a long time. Let's see how long you can be smug for. Just wait and see. After saying that, he turned and left. Wait a minute, Manager Lai. Tang Bao stopped him and handed over the things in his hand. You forgot to take the transfer notice. Lai Yuanqing took it back fiercely and left angrily. At the head office, in Liang Jichao's office, President Liang, Uncle Liang, didn't you say that you would make Tanggu a figurehead first and then let him leave? Why are you still letting him be an agent now? I said that I would let him return to the head office after the fashion night. Uncle Liang, don't you believe in my ability? Lai Yuanqing asked unwillingly. Liang Jichao was furious when he heard this. Don't you know how much you're worth? You're not as good as Tanggu. Even if I want to train you well, I have to consider the company first, right? Uncle Liang, how can you achieve great things in the future if you have such poor patience? I know, I'll bear with it. I'll listen to you. Lai Yuanqing could only say so. He didn't want Liang Jichao to say that about him and make it sound like he was useless. Tang Bao sat down in his office and prepared to look at the promotional news of the fashion night in the past, especially Do Ji's year. Except for that year, which was a little big, the rest was pretty much the same. Often, the news that couldn't be seen was more shocking than the news on the internet. There was a knock on the door. Xiao Ding pushed the door open. Manager Tang, someone is looking for you. Tang Bao looked up and saw Dogu walking in. Why are you here? Am I not welcome? It was too unexpected. Have a seat. Tang Bao ordered Xiao Ding. Go and pour some tea. No need, I have something to tell you. After sitting down on the sofa, Tang Bao asked, Is this your investigation? That's not it. But don't worry, there's no problem. Dogu said. That's good. Then why are you looking for me? Tang Bao couldn't quite guess it. Aren't Meng Shi and Qing Ju going to the fashion night? Yes, I'm preparing for it. However, it's a little difficult to find a designer. The designers in the company are useless. They can't come up with good works. Tang Bao didn't like them, so he wanted to go outside to look for a designer. I'll do it. What? Tang Bao was surprised. You mean you're going to help them design? Yes. Dogu, you're already very busy. You have to investigate the old cases, participate in the photography design competition, and design for Qing Ju and Meng Shi. Is that okay? If I couldn't, I wouldn't have taken the initiative to look for you. Tang Bao thought for a moment and knew that Dogu came because she was grateful to her. Actually, she also hoped that would be the case. Do Ji's talent was quite good, and her sensitivity and visual beauty were better than others. Therefore, she nodded. If it's you, then I'm more confident that they'll be in the limelight at the fashion night. However, I hope that you can get first place, understand? Since you have so much confidence in me, I can't let you down. With Do Ji's participation, tailor-made designs for Meng Shi and Qing Ju were quickly arranged. Such preparations were probably even more so for the others. It was a rare competition that only happened once a year. Everyone wanted to be in the limelight and raise their status to a higher level. Tang Bao was no exception. However, she was only thinking about her artiste, not herself. She had no interest in being in the limelight. She didn't like to be in the limelight. On the day of the fashion night, champagne beauties, handsome young men, and fresh meat were simply dazzling. The fashion reporters and various media outlets were waiting. Fridolin was the chairman. As soon as he appeared, everyone immediately surrounded him. There were reporters and celebrities. He was like a delicious cake. Tang Bao looked like he couldn't squeeze in, so he watched from a distance. Beside him were people he knew: Fan Siming, Meng Shi, Qing Ju, Do Gu, and the little assistant. I think Lai Yuanqing is squeezing even harder than the reporters. Those who don't know would think that he's a dedicated reporter, Meng Shi said disdainfully. Just as he finished speaking, Lai Yuanqing fell to the side because of the shoving. He thought that no one saw and quickly got up. Tang Bao and the others were so embarrassed that they couldn't help but turn their faces away. Yo, isn't this Do Gu who cheated that year? You're here too? Don't tell me that this year's work is cheating again? I really don't understand why people like you are allowed to participate. Even if you get into the top 10, you don't live up to your name. People will suspect you. Isn't it embarrassing? Chen Tianxiao deliberately walked over and mocked him. Doji's face was cold and he didn't say a word. No one else paid attention to him, which made him lose face. His face was slightly distorted. Do you really think you're something? Let me tell you, you came here for nothing. The first place this time is mine. Then I'll congratulate you in advance, Dogu said expressionlessly. Chen Tianxiao was about to gloat when he added, I just hope that it won't be like women's makeup. The celebration banquet will be for nothing. You! Chen Tianxiao's expression was extremely ugly. Your mouth is powerful, but unfortunately, the fashion night won't give your work bonus points. Just wait for the moment when you'll embarrass yourself. With that, Chen Tianxiao left with his arrogance and temper. Gu, why are you pulling me? Meng Shi could finally speak. If I don't pull you, you'll be noisy? He dares to be so arrogant in front of me. If it weren't for the occasion, I would have taught him a lesson. Meng Shi was even more arrogant than Chen Tianxiao. Qing Ju suddenly interrupted. Not bad, you know how to take the occasion into consideration. Qing Ju, what did you say? Meng Shi was angry. I didn't say anything. Qing Ju said expressionlessly. Do you think I'm deaf? Mi Ku'er got close to Tang Bao's ear and whispered, have they always quarreled like this? Are you curious? My friends have been asking me if they are a couple. As soon as Mi Ku'er finished speaking, her collar was lifted from behind. Mi Ku'er saw Meng Shi's angry face. If you talk nonsense again, I'll throw you out. Mi Ku'er was dumbfounded. Short? You don't have to hit me like this, do you? Tang Bao frowned. Meng Shi let go of Mi Ku'er unhappily. Chapter 806. Tang Bao asked, do you think they look like a couple? Nope. He's not good enough for Qing Ju. His temper is too bad. Unfortunately, Meng Shi heard this. It was even more unfortunate that because Tang Bao was around, Meng Shi did not dare to flare up and could only endure it. He glanced sideways at Qing Ju, but Qing Ju was only looking into the distance. He and Qing Ju were a couple? He would not find a woman in the entertainment industry. He was not interested. At this moment, Fei Delin finally had a chance to walk over. Haha, the fashion night is so popular. I can only walk out now. Those reporters are too enthusiastic. They're just curious about who will get first place tonight. Tang Bao smiled. The chairman has a unique taste. He definitely knows. I'm very curious too. Fei Delin smiled. They started walking the red carpet. Meng Shi and Qing Ju went elsewhere to change. The celebrities who came here were all more famous. Some wore more revealing clothes to attract attention, some wore more refreshing clothes, and some had unique clothing designs. Each had their own characteristic. The reporters were taking photos outside. Tang Bao watched Meng Shi and Qing Ju come out and walk the red carpet together. Qing Ju held Meng Shi's arm. Isn't this Meng Shi and Qing Ju on the cover of Belle's Got Talent? They're much more eye-catching than in the magazine. Also, what brand are they wearing? What year and what style are they wearing? Meng Shi's upper body was in a more fashionable suit, and his lower body's trousers were very slender, making his long legs more pleasing to the eye. He wore marten boots on his feet, which had a bit of an arrogant and unruly element inside, which matched his personality perfectly. He was charming and charming. The female reporters' cameras kept flashing on Meng Shi's face, and Qing Ju, who was standing next to him, was not overwhelmed by Meng Shi's handsomeness. She wore a unique long dress with a thin layer of gauze on the outside. Her long legs were faintly discernible inside. Overall, she was sexy but not glamorous. It was a combination of an angel and a devil. The two of them each had their own charm. There was no conflict. Instead, there was a beauty that complemented each other. There was a huge difference between the celebrities in front and the cameras that were flashing non-stop. When Meng Shi and Qing Ju were about to walk to the end, they were pulled to the center again. They thought that they were walking too fast and did not have time to take photos. When the other celebrities saw that the limelight had been taken over by Meng Shi and Qing Ju, their expressions were definitely not too good. This was especially true for Yao Yao. The clothes on her body were designed by Chen Tianxiao, yet they couldn't compare to Qing Ju's. Her expression was quite ugly. Chen Tianxiao, who was beside him, comforted him. These reporters have no foresight. When it's time for the competition and I get first place, all these can be denied. Of course, Yao Yao knew that Chen Tianxiao was lying through his teeth. The reporters didn't have foresight, but how could she not have foresight? She felt that Qing Ju's clothes were very beautiful, so beautiful that it was soul-stirring. Of course, she didn't say it because she still wanted to have a glimmer of hope. It would be best if Chen Tianxiao could get first place. Otherwise, she would not be able to swallow her anger. The celebrities entered the venue and sat down in their respective seat. Fidelin and the judges sat at the front, separated from the audience. Tang Bao, Fan Siming, Do Gomengxi, Qing Ju, and Mi Ku were sitting together. Before they even started, they could already hear the other designers talking. I'm really curious. Why can Do Go participate as well? Isn't a cheater like him afraid of being affected? Didn't you see the person next to him? I heard that it's that manager called Tang Go. He's very capable. Do Go can be considered to have hooked up with someone useful. I'm just afraid that when the time comes, one pole will overturn the whole boat. If it were me, I would definitely not come to embarrass myself. What do you know? This thick-skinned person can't feel these things. He just wants to achieve his goal. TSK, even if he gets first place, he's definitely plagiarized. Tang Bao and the others did not make a sound and pretended not to hear it. After the competition started, the works of the photographers were presented one by one and replaced one by one. At the end, only two were left, Chen Tianxiao and Do Go. The judges were whispering to each other. They didn't know what they were talking about, but they knew that they were doing the final evaluation. Chen Tianxiao looked at Tang Bao, Do Go, and the others mockingly and said proudly, I don't believe that a plagiarist can have any future. If he got first place, it would be embarrassing. If he got second place, there was even less to fear. However, Chen Tianxiao felt that such a person would not get second place. He was ready to attack Do Gu on this day, and make him disappear from the fashion industry forever. Next, the rankings are out. The host kept them in suspense. I don't know who is the rising star of the fashion industry in your heart. Let's reveal it together. Congratulations, Chen Tianxiao. Chen Tianxiao immediately stood up happily and waved at the other photographers with a smug look on his face. Congratulations, congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations. Congratulations. It was simply congratulation from all directions. Tang Bao and the others had different expressions on their faces. Dogu was still calm, but Mi Kuer looked unwilling. If it was not first place, it was useless every time. Fan Siming also frowned. Meng Shi and Qing Ju were even more unwilling to hear such a result. Just as everyone was congratulating, the host continued, "Congratulations to Chen Tianxiao for getting second place. His works every year make us look at him in a new light." The congratulatory voices stopped abruptly. Chen Tianxiao's standing body suddenly froze, and his face was as stiff as his body. Wasn't he the first place? Wasn't he called the first place? So, if he was the second place, then the first place was. Chen Tianxiao was too ashamed to look at Dou Gu, and he wanted to shout a few words in his heart. But on such an occasion, if he lost his demeanor, it would be very degrading. He had to sit down with extreme embarrassment. Then there is no suspense. The next first place is Dou Gu. Congratulations to Dou Gu for getting first place. Your works make us feel the deep meaning of fashion and tell us that fashion has a soul. Congratulations! Dou Gu stood up and bowed slightly in other directions to show his self-cultivation. Mi Kuer next to him clapped excitedly and was about to cry. Tang Bao looked at him and smiled. They felt that Dou Gu deserved it. However, the other photographers were not convinced. Are you kidding? How could he get first place? Don't tell me he copied it from somewhere and we don't know about it? I think he must have used some means. I heard that Tengu and Fidolin have a deep friendship, and Tengu helps Dou Gu. So, the first place must belong to him. What's the difference between this and being predetermined? If we had known it was so unfair, why would we participate in the competition? Are we free? Yes, it's an insult to us. Of course, Chen Tianxiao was the most unbalanced in his heart. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.